Hey Vishnu, how are you guys? Am I audible? Hey Mamoon, hey Roshan, hey Rahul, hi Tanvi, hey Kaustav. Just give me 1 second, guys. Let me just change my internet connection. Just give me 1 second. Hey Mahi. Hmm, Just a second, guys. Vishnu, you should have texted me on Scalar chat, yeah. Multiple people texted me on Scalar chat about the problem they were not able to solve in the code. Whatever your doubts are, whatever your doubts related to the code, that your code is not working on your system, right? Just ping those doubts on the Scalar chat. Is it fine, Vishnu? Great, great, great. Guys, I think today my internet speed is a bit slow. If you, at any point of time, if you think there is some problem, do tell me, okay? Guys, can you listen me? Great, great, great. At any point of time, if you feel that something is lagging or if some my voice is cracking, do tell me, okay? Internet connection is not working as much fine as I want it. Okay then. So, any doubt in previous class? Any conceptual doubt or anything which we did and you did not understand? Yes, otherwise we'll start. No. Okay, great. That's good. So then, can you see my screen, guys? Great, great, great. Okay then, let us start. So in the previous class, we left on something which we were building. What we did, the last thing what we did is we printed the border using the very basic knowledge, right? Then we installed the ncurses library. If you guys remember, then we installed the ncurses library, and then we tried this thing to make work. And this thing was not working. There were multiple issues. The first issue was in the make file. We link the ncurses library to our compiler so that at the end we can also get the ncurses library. The other issue was that it was not stopping, so that's why we added a get ch here so that we can take an input and make the screen stop for a bit, right? So now today the very first thing we would be doing, we would be completing our border, which we did using these loops. The very first thing we'll be doing is building a border. Anybody who tried and was able to build the border? Anybody who went and tried themselves that, okay, let me try to build the border? No? So let us start. And since my border is a user interface related, right? So my border is user interface. Rather than writing it directly here, let us start making our project modular and let us start making things into the file they are related to. Okay, so I'll be making the border in UI.cpp. So also with the border, let us also pick this thing in its screen and all that stuff and win from here, from main. And let us just take main as a thing which communicates or which helps to communicate other files. It's a middleman who is asking one file to give one function, who is asking other file to give other functionality, right? So let us just pick out everything from here and just let us just make it a middleman. So in UI CPP, let us make a first function as void, let us init UI. So this could be a first function. Another function could be to tear out the screen, to destroy the screen. So and the function could be tear down UI. And then we can have a function called, we want to paint the border, right? We want to paint the border. So paint border. This is the function we'll start. This is the function we'll start with. So let us go to main CPP and pick this code. Init screen, this will be placed in which function? This will be placed in init UI. So it will help us initialize our user interface, right? And the next thing is, let us also pick endwin from here and let us put into tear down UI. And then eventually we want to paint border. So this was the stuff we were trying. This was the stuff we only painted hash there. Now we want to paint the square or the rectangle around my borders. So let us pick it from here and put it for now here. Okay. Now can you tell me, it is giving some red lines over these stuff. Can you tell me what these red lines are related to? What could be the error? Yes, guys? Right, Roshan, right. So in this file, in this UI.cpp, I haven't included n-curses, right? In this main CPP, I had include n-curses, but in this UI.cpp, I haven't included n-curses yet. So rather than including it here, let's include it here only. In the header, include curses.h. Okay, in UI.cpp, which file will include? Will include the header file ui.h, right? So this way this would work now. These three stuffs will be working now. And what we can do from main, in main, now we have to include the ui.h also. In main also we have to include ui.h because we want those functions. Init UI, main will be initializing the UI, right? Main will be initializing the UI. So ui.h imported here, and let us init the screen here. Init UI, and then let's say paint border, and then eventually tear down UI. Tear down UI. Let's just get rid of these comments. So init UI is here, paint border is here, and tear down UI is here. Now it is also giving me red lines. In the start, I'll be asking some questions to you so that I can get an idea to you understand things. Again, some red lines here. Why? I have included my UI.h. Can you guys tell me why there are more red lines? Right, Roshan, right. And please, guys, move to the personal chat. Do DM me rather than putting it in everyone's chat. So what happened here is, these functions were available in UI.cpp. But we are not importing UI.cpp, we are importing UI.h. So there should be declaration of every function in UI.h also. Okay, so we have three functions: void init UI, then we have void tear down UI, and then we have void paint border. Now these were the very first multifiles we have. We had a UI.h, a UI.cpp, which contains the definition only. My UI.h contains only declarations, right? And my main.cpp, we imported UI.h in main.cpp, and now you can see that red lines are gone. Now you can see red lines are gone. Let us try to run it. So it is saying tear down UI reference, undefined symbols of architecture paint border. Undefined, why are these undefined? include, we have UI.h here, curses and if def UI. What could be the problem? Anybody can think of the problem? It is still saying undefined symbols of architecture. What can be the problem? We have linked UI.h. We have done everything we wanted to do. Yes, guys, what could be the problem? Anybody? You just have to see this particular stuff to identify the problem. Or you just have to see this command to identify the problem. Yes, guys, what's the problem? It is still saying undefined. It is not able to get the definition. Exactly, not link. We have linked UI.h. We have linked UI.h. The thing is, they are only compiling main.cpp. We are only compiling main.cpp. So if my UI.cpp is not compiled, we would not receive the object file. We would not receive the definitions. So eventually, we did not have any definition of these functions which we are using. Yes, guys, you understood this thing, what happened? In my make file, I haven't compiled UI.cpp, right? I haven't compiled UI.cpp. If UI.cpp is not compiled, I would not receive the object file. And in the object file, I have definitions. And eventually, my linker would link those definitions with the other file. So that's the reason I have to also compile UI.cpp. Okay, now let us make it. See, hash is printed here, right? So we just distributed our code in the considerate file, in the files where the code should actually lie. My user interface code should actually lie into UI.cpp. Now let us get rid of this thing because we were only just printing one hash. Now I want to print the whole pattern kind of thing to print the border. So let us start printing it. Now for int, first of all, I want to print the top row and the bottom row. So int I equals to 0, I is less than cons, I plus plus. Now this calls is provided by the library itself, ncurses itself. What ncurses do, it checks the screen size. It checks the screen size on which it is printing. And then it finds two values. One is calls, and the other one is lines. Other one's in line. It shows the number of rows and it shows the number of columns. It is given by ncurses itself. What ncurses do? Ncurses check the dimensions of the current screen and then they put the value inside the calls and inside the lines. Yes, guys, got it? Great. So this is calls. I want to print the top row. So what I will do? I will move to 0, I. I will move to 0, I, and then eventually what I'll do, add ch hash, and now previously what I have to do, I first have to do top row, then I have to do middle rows, and then eventually I have to do the end row, the bottom row, right? But now I can access any position at any time, right? I can access any position at any time. So I don't have to write another loop for the bottom row. I can just put it here only. Move lines -1 I. And after moving to that particular position, just print hash. Is this clear, guys? Yes. Why I don't need to write another loop now? Yes. Anybody has any doubt in this? Now what we'll be doing, we'll be printing left and right one, the vertical ones. So for int I equals to 1, I is less than lines -1, I plus plus. In the previous class we discussed why we are going from I to lines -1, whereas here we are going from 0 to calls, right? If you guys remember, we discussed it in the very previous class. Now what we want to do is, we want to first move to I, 0, the very first column and the ith row, and we want to print there add ch add ch hash. And now I want to move to the last column. I do not have to print spaces in between now. So I'll directly move to the last, cols -1. It will be rows, so I cols -1. Yes, and then eventually what I'll do, add ch hash. Yes guys, will it print the border? Let us quickly see. Make. See, now my border is available to us, right? Anybody has any doubt in printing this border? And it automatically took the size of this window. It automatically took the size of this window. Yes, now these borders are very, these borders are very, they don't even give us the sense of UI. So let us do one thing. Let us replace these borders. Let us initialize a char border character. And just go in the ASCII board, just go on the ASCII board and check what is 219. Just go to the ASCII chart. Let me just paste a link of ASCII chart here. This is the link of ASCII chart. Go to the ASCII chart and see what's the value for 219. Or you can also see the value for 254. Yes, guys. Can you see, if somebody has opened it, can you see it is kind of a block, square block? Yes, a kind of rectangle or a square block, right? So that is why rather than using hashes, we'll use square box or the rectangle box. So char, we stored it into border character. Now eventually what we'll do, we'll just replace this hash with border character. Yes, can we see this? Now it is looking much better before. Yes guys, great. So now we have printed our border. Anybody has any doubt in printing this border? Everything clear? Yes? Great. So let us move back to main.cpp. Now my user interface, basic user interface is very much ready. Now we should start focusing on our game. So tell me what is happening here. We are initializing a UI, we are painting a border, and then we are tearing down the UI and the game is over. Is my game like this? Or my game is just moving like infinite time until we do not close it? Yes? Until we do not close this, my game is going on. My snake is going on until I do not die or until I do not close this, right? So do you get a feeling of infinite loop working on? Yes? Exactly, Anshul. We have a feeling of infinite loop working on. That inside my infinite loop, I'll write my game logic, and that game logic will keep on repeating again and again until I do not want to exit. Right, guys? Yes? Great. This loop is also called event loop. So let us quickly write a function for it. Void event loop while infinite loop. What we do to make a loop run infinitely? We need to have true here. My loop will run infinitely if my condition doesn't become false. So I'll just make it true. This loop will continuously run infinite times until I do not exit it by some force or by some extra explicit hard work. Right, guys? Now, why is this called event loop? Yes, exactly, Anshul. Either by break or either by exiting my terminal, anything. So why now this is called event loop? Now tell me one thing. Is my VS Code, understand this, that my VS Code has written some code. Yes, my VS Code, yes, exactly, Roshan. My VS Code has some code written into it and it is running in backends. Now, as soon as I press this, it shifts to another screen. As soon as I press this refresh button, it refreshes. It is not waiting for a particular input, right? It is not waiting for a particular input and stopping there. The code is running, the VS Code is running, and then it is waiting for an event to occur. What happens? As soon as I click this, As soon as I click this, somebody tells the code in backend that an event has happened. What kind of event? An event that somebody has opened food.h. So now you have to act accordingly. So in these kind of softwares now, there is an event and my software acts accordingly. There is always an event. When you write something into your Google Chrome, so you write something, press enter. So now there is an event happened. What type of event? That somebody is trying to search something. So now for that event, some code is written there. For that particular written, some code has written there, right? And that code is actually running again and again. It is actually checking again and again that has some event came, koi event hua, has some event came, koi event hua. If some event has happened, I'll do the work I have to do for that particular event. Right, guys? Do you understand events? Anybody has any doubt why we are calling an event them? Why we are calling these events? Or what is an event loop? Yes? For an example, let's say, yeah, yes, Anshul, yes. So for an example, Anshul, this is a while loop, right? This is running infinite times. This is a while loop. This is running infinite times. Now I can write here, if somebody clicks, if somebody clicks the button, then do this particular thing. So can I say, Anshul, this loop will be running again and again, continuously running, right? It is checking again and again. Now, if somebody clicks the button, this condition will become true. So this clicking of button is an event. And I am working according to it. Do this particular work. I'm doing some kind of work based on my event. Right, Anshul? So can you guys suggest me any kind of event in our game? If you have understand the events, what kind of events are present in our game? In the snake game. Click, I do not think so we write exactly. So the very basic event is we are using our keys to move the snake. Snake is continuously moving, and then I hit the arrow. Then I hit the top arrow and it will start moving upwards. So hitting the top arrow is kind of an event. So the very basic events in our game is the movement of the snake. Right? So we'll be building the complete game on the basis of that, only in the basis of events. So now, anybody has any doubt still in the event loop? Why we are running this infinite time? If we do not run this infinite time, my code will exit. We have to keep on running until either user explicitly forcefully exit or we provide him some exit options. Right? Okay. Now let us write some game logic here. While loop will be running again and again and it will be implementing the game logic. Okay guys, so now let us start implementing it into game.cpp file. Let us start implementing here into. So we'll be first including its corresponding header file. And in header file, we'll go and define that we are going to write a function game logic. So now let us try, in the very first thing, let us try to print something inside that bordered string. And then let us try to move it. Okay, so then we'll be able to imitate that thing into a snake. So let us try to print a hash on the screen and then let us try to move it somehow. So then we'll understand how the movement is occurring. So let's say void game logic. So let's say currently I am at go to 10,0 and print the hash. Go to 10,0 and print the hash. Let us also include hash include what was it? I forgot the name. Curses.h. Yeah. Let us also include this file and let us go. Now what I am doing, I am just printing the hash at 10,0. Harsha, hold on. We'll see everything. We'll see everything. So now, first of all, we want to print at 10, 0, right? To show the movement of hash, what should I do next? I should move it to something called 10, 1. Then I should move it to 10, 1, and then add the character there. Yes, guys. To show the movement, then I should move it to the next position. 10, 2, and add the character there. Yes, this is which I should repeat again and again for certain number of time. Right. You can see we need a loop here. So let us just erase this thing. And let us just declare a variable int I equals to 0. Or let us say int I equals to 1. Let us say int I equals to 10. So 10, I, move to 10, I position. Print a hash there. And then what you do? You increase the I. So we do not want to go outside of our border. So let us say if I is greater than 20, make I back to 0. Okay, if I is greater than 0, if I is greater than 20, just go back to the very first position. Right, guys? So let us try to implement this thing. And first of all, we go to makefile. We add this new file here, game.cpp, and it is dependent upon game.cpp. Right? So why it is still showing it? Okay. So let us try to make this terminate. Use of undeclared identifier. Okay. Game logic. Okay, we also have to include this file. Do not forget to include these files. Include game.h. Now, can you see nothing happened? It compiled successfully. But nothing happened. It neither even printed the border which it was printing before. What might have happened? Yes, what's wrong? It's clearly in front of you guys. What's wrong? Sarath says it's happened so fast. It is quite a possibility that it happened so fast. But before happening it so fast, there is one problem. We are running the event loop here. We are printing things. These things are not printed because it is happening quickly. It is happening too fast, right? No infinite loop, but it is happening too fast. So that's why we are not able to see the new screen. And why border was not printed? Because border is after event loop. So let us shift our border. Into the game logic itself. So my game logic would first paint the border, then it will start moving. So paint border, now I have to include ui.h here also. Hash include ui.h. Now let us try to run this. It painted the border, but it didn't do anything. It did not do anything. The reason being is inside the paint border, you can see we are waiting for an input. Inside the paint border, we are waiting for an input, right? So let us just skip it and remove this get.ch. And let us run it again. Now again the same thing happened. Again, we are actually now printing the border and the things so fast that it is not the terminal is not able to decide that either I have to remain in this particular window or I have to move to that screen. Do you guys understand this thing? This while loop is continuously running so fast that this particular terminal is not able to decide that do I have to remain here or do I have to go to the temporary screen. So for that, either we can do one thing. We can wait for the input here. We can wait for the input here. So what will happen? Game logic will be implemented. The screen will be ready and screen will be displayed, and then it will wait for the input. So let us just make. So it is now waiting for the input, right? So as soon as I give this, see, it is printing. I am pressing some keys and it is printing things. Yes, guys, can you see this thing? It started printing from start. Yes. Is everybody on the same page? Anybody has any doubt? It started printing hash again and again. Now, there were two problems here. There are two problems here. We cannot always wait for an input. What type of game is this? We are waiting for an input to work things around, right? One problem is this. Second problem is I actually want to move my hash. I did not want to print it again and again. I actually want to move my hash. I did not want to print it again and again. So what I have to do? I have to print it first, then erase it, then print it at the next position, then erase it, then print it at the next position. Yes? Or you can relate that in our childhood, what we used to do, we used to draw multiple figures on different pages. First, let's say we want to show the arm movement. So how we'll do? In the very first page, we'll draw my arm like this. Then we'll turn the page and draw my arm like this. Then we'll turn the page and draw my arm like this. And eventually, I'll take the whole the pages and just scroll them, and we'll see the whole motion. Yes, guys, do you remember this thing? Can you relate this thing? So in the same way, Akif, hold on. We are not, yes, we need to grow, but currently I do not want my snake to grow. Currently, I just want that my snake is hash and I want the movement. My snake is hash and I want the movement. So consider it like frames. Consider it like those frames, not pages. That I have to first print this frame, then this frame, then this frame, then this frame. Yes, guys, this is how a video is made, isn't it? Yes, so that is what we want. We want to first print this frame, then erase everything, then we want to print this frame. So what we can do, we've printed our first frame, before it, we erased everything. There is a function erase available. Now, what you have to do is, you got the idea ki what we have to do. Now you will start thinking about, yeah, I need a function which can erase everything stuff. So you'll go to ncurses, or whenever you are reading the documentation of ncurses, you'll find there is a function erase mentioned there. Then you'll realize what the use of erase. Okay. And the very next thing is, the second problem was here. I do not want to use getch again and again. I do not want to wait for the input. So ncurses knew about this problem. So ncurses also gave a function called refresh. What refresh will do, refresh will say, okay, I know what I have to print on temporary screen, but I'm not actually printing because it is going again fast and fast. I'm confused between this and this. So what refresh will tell, go and first print on that screen. Go and first print on that screen, show the temporary screen first. Do you guys understand what erase is doing? And do you guys understand what refresh is doing? And why when they are needed? Yes, guys. Anybody who doesn't understand why I need erase and why I need refresh? So let us try. See. Now what is happening? This hash is moving, but my while loop is very, very, very fast. But first of all, realize what is happening here. What is happening? In the very first frame, my border is printed, my hash is printed. Now my next frame is there. Next, the hash is moved to the right. Then hash is moved to the right. And now when hash was moved at the end, we started it from the beginning. So that is why it is doing like this again and again. And the speed is very, very, very huge. The speed is very huge. Now the next problem to us is to maintain the scene. Next issue is to maintain the speed according to us. Maintain the speed according to us. Yes. Can anybody suggest me anything? How can we maintain the speed? Can anybody suggest me anything? How can we maintain the speed? Anything you ever seen somewhere? Can I do this? Let's say I have a sleep function. Let's say I have a sleep function. Yeah, I'll be talking about that only, Rahul. Time pause, right, Anshul? Time pause. So what we can do, we can ask our program that yeah, you just sleep here for at least 100 milliseconds. Sleep for 100 milliseconds. Okay, I asked my program that you just sleep for 100 milliseconds if such kind of function exists. Okay, if I am able to get some sleep, get this sleep function exists. I am telling you this sleep function exists, but there is a problem here. Okay, let us discuss it. Now tell me, if I am sleeping, if I am executing this single loop in 100 millisecond, in 1 second, how many times I will be able to execute this loop? In 1 second, how many times I will be able to execute this whole loop if I am sleeping for 100 millisecond in one iteration? Right, Roshan? Yes, guys, give me answer. Right, Anshul? For your information, 1 second is 1000 milliseconds. Right, Shreyas? So this loop will be executed 10 times in 1 second. So can I say 10 frames will be printed? 10 different frames will be printed per second? Yes, 10 different 10 different frames will be printed per second. Yes. So now the problem is, okay, we are okay done. We are very happy with 10 frame per second. Okay. Now, but understand this thing. Somebody can take the book and scroll it very fast. Somebody can take that same book and scroll it very slow. So in that case, there is no actual computation there. We just need to scroll it. And similar thing is happening here. We just need to scroll it. There is no computation. But now consider a shooting game. Consider a shooting game. There are two type of people. One person is somebody who just hides and just wait for the enemy to come and strike. Who is a camper, right? One person is someone who is just waiting there to some person to come and attack him, right? And there is another person who is like extra aggressive, and he will go and he will try to shoot everyone. He's just extra aggressive. He's running here and there, and he's just trying to kill the enemies, right? So there are two people, a camper and a rusher, right? So for the camper, computer doesn't have to do any kind of computation. Computer just have to represent the same frame again and again until some enemy comes, right? So computer doesn't have to do any huge computation there. But for the rusher who just want to kill the enemy, who is just moving here and there, computer have to do a whole lot of computation. And when he is shooting, the computer actually want to see which gun is this, how many bullets are there, in with which speed we are hitting, at what distance we are hitting. So there are huge lot of computations. Yes, guys. So if my code says कि in both the case wait for 1 millisecond or wait for 1 second. In the case of a camper also wait for 1 second, and in the case of rusher also wait for 1 second. So won't it actually affect our frame per second? Won't it actually affect a frame per second? Just take the whole idea and let me show you why. So let us see. We are actually sleeping for 100 millisecond here. We are sleeping for 100 millisecond here. It's quite possible. It's quite possible that we are doing some computation here. We are doing some computation here, which takes 0.2 seconds. Which takes 0.2 seconds. And this was 0.1 second. This was 0.1 second. Now tell me how many frames will be executed now in 1 second. Now tell me how many frames will be executed in 1 second. Right, Dinakar? Previously, we were only waiting for this 0.1 second. Previously, we were just only waiting for 0.1 second. But now I am telling there is some computation happening here, which is taking 0.2 seconds also. So in total, one iteration of loop takes 0.1 plus 0.2 equal to 0.3 seconds. One iteration of loop takes 0.3 seconds. So how many iteration I can do in 1 second? 3 iterations, guys. Can I say 3 frames per second? Can I say 3 frames per second? Yes. Now, this computation is very variable. This computation is very variable. There can be a camper, there can be a rusher. So now it might take 0.3 seconds. It might take 0.3 seconds. So in that case, this frame rate will decrease again. This frame rate will decrease again. But it is very bad for a game. It is very bad for a game. Bad for a game to have very variable FPS, to have variable frame per second. Yes, sometimes you are seeing that your screen is loading too fast. Sometimes your screen is loading very slowly. So isn't it a very big problem that it is having actually variable FPS? 3, 2. Yes, guys. Is this clear why it is having variable FPS? Anybody has any doubt in this? It should be constant. It should be constant. Even if you play some games, you can go to the settings and change your frame per second. Yes. So now, why, which thing? Anshul says, why 0.2 seconds? I'm considering it. Anshul, let's say there is some computation. Let's say there is some computation. It is happening here. Assume, I want to assume you guys that there is some computation happening here, which is actually taking 0.2 seconds. I am asking you to assume it. It is quite possible. Like there are some computation happening in game logic. Sleep is a different external time we are applying. It is quite possible that game logic is taking some 0.2 second. Yes, Anshul? It is quite possible now. So in that case, we should not fix this 100. In that case, we should not fix this 100. We should make this 100 variable so that we'll first calculate कि how much time was taken for our computation. मेरे computation ने कितना time लिया, and then I'll see कि कितना time मेरे पास अभी बचा हुआ है, how much time is remaining with me, and I will wait for only that particular time. Rather than making it this thing constant, rather than making it always wait for 100 milliseconds, I'll try to find out the time which is remaining with me. Yes, guys? Anybody has any doubt in this? Anybody has any doubt in this? So I want to make it variable, but a variable में भी problem है. There is a issue कि यार it's quite possible कि मेरे पास 1 second ही allowed था. I was only allowed for 1 second, and my only this computation takes 1 second or more than 1 second. So for that, what gamers do or what game development companies do, what type of computation? Anything can be happen, na? Painting the snake, representing the snake, or let's say a shooting game is happening. A shooting game is, everything will be computed here in the game logic, Anshul. Everything it will be computed in the game logic, which is like shooting of gun, killing of a person. Every frame will be calculated or computed in the inside this game logic. That is what I am talking about computation. This game logic can take some time. Forget computation. ये game logic function भी काम करने में थोड़ा time ले सकता है ना. तो अब मैं इसको variable बनाना चाहता हूँ, ठीक है? What happens now? What game companies do? They consider every action. They consider every frame. और सारे frames consider करने के बाद ना, on an average PC or an average computer, they try to find an upper limit. कि यार इतने में तो ना एक एवरेज में चल जाना चाहिए. If your phone is OnePlus 8, then you can increase your FPS. If your phone is a very basic phone, like 2-3 years old phone, then your FPS will be less frame per second. Yes, but what game companies try to do, game companies try to reach to an optimum delay between two frames, optimum time between two frames, कि जिसमें उनको लगता है कि उनके सारे एक्शंस कंप्लीट हो जाने चाहिए. Yes, guys. So we can say that time is time delay between frames. Time delay between frames. Okay, got it? What is time delay between frames? It is the time which can be taken by one frame to execute. And we can set this limit in whatever way I want. We can set this limit in whatever way I want. Now what I can do, first of all, I can store some last time here. I can calculate some time here. Yes. I'll try to calculate some time here, guys. Okay. Then what I'll do, after completing this game logic, After completing this game logic, I'll again calculate the time. What is the current time? What is the current time? Then what will I do? I'll take the difference. Current time minus last time. Why I took the difference? कि जब मेरी competition शुरू हुई थी, when my game started, when my that frame started to execute, or when my frame starting to get produced, और जब वो मेरा frame complete हो चुका, I have done all the computation. What's the time now? What's the time now? If the difference is still less than time delay, if the difference is still less than time delay, I can wait. Yes, guys. जितना टाइम मुझे एक फ्रेम में लगना चाहिए था, द टाइम, दिस इज द टाइम विच इज अवेलेबल फॉर वन सिंगल फ्रेम. दिस इज द टाइम विच इज अवेलेबल फॉर वन सिंगल फ्रेम. This is the starting time of that frame. This is the ending time of the computations. Now, if my current time minus last time is still less than time delay between frames, I should wait. Yes, guys, I should wait. So can I say I'm calculating current time here somehow. Somehow I am calculating current time here. While I will wait while my current time minus last time is less than time delay between frames. Yes, guys, do you understand this while loop? Anybody who says I do not understand this while loop? Anybody who says I do not understand this while loop? What happened here? Gurleen, I'll repeat. What happened here, Gurleen? See, this is time delay between frames. This is time taken by one frame to execute. The game development organization says, I'm telling you, the game development organization says कि यार एक फ्रेम को एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए ना तुम इतना टाइम ले सकते हो. ठीक है, आई वॉन्ट टू मेक द फ्रेम पर सेकेंड कॉन्स्टेंट. सो गेम डेवलपमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेड कि इतना टाइम ले लो एक फ्रेम को एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए. ठीक है, सो हमने कहा ओके फाइन. सो this while loop, when this while loop runs for one time, it is one frame. Okay, so what I checked in the starting, I checked कि what is my this time. अभी मेरा टाइम क्या है? Let's say अभी मेरा टाइम था, let's say my time was 12 o'clock and 1 minute. ठीक है, 12 o'clock and let's say 45 seconds. ठीक है, this was my current time which I stored into last time. Okay, guys, now what happened, I entered into this game logic function. I calculated whatever I want to calculate for this particular frame to display. Okay, I calculated whatever I want to calculate to display. Calculation can be like shooting of gun, with which speed the gun will go, where will be the gun will placed in this particular frame. Do you understand this type of computations? Yes, great. Now what happened, after my computations are done, after all my calculations are done, I again calculated my current time. Let's say my current time was now 12 o'clock 47 seconds. Okay, now my time was 12 o'clock 47 seconds. So how much time I took? I took 2 seconds. Yes, I took 2 seconds. Now the game development organization has said that you can take 4 seconds to complete a frame. तो अभी मेरा logic, अभी I have done all the calculation, but I have to wait for total 4 seconds so that my frame rate can retain be the same. अगर मैं 4 seconds से पहले ही अगला frame execute करना शुरू कर दूंगा तो it will become variable again. This frame executed in 2 seconds, next frame might execute in 4 seconds. तो वेरिएबल हो गया ना दोबारा से फ्रेम की स्पीड. I want to have the constant speed. तो what I'll do, यार wait करो, wait until this while loop will keep on repeating again and again. This says wait until my current time minus last time. Current time minus last time is now 2 seconds. Currently current time minus last time is 2 seconds. Until it is less than the time available to this particular frame. This particular frame has 4 seconds. तो ये लूप रन करेगी. नेक्स्ट टाइम करंट टाइम कितना हो जाएगा 48. तो 3 सेकंड का डिफरेंस है. तब भी वेट करना पड़ेगा, फिर ये कितना हो जाएगा 49, then my current time will become 12 o'clock 49 second and my last time is 45. जब मैंने शुरू किया था वो पर्टिकुलर फ्रेम, तो 4 सेकंड का डिफरेंस आ गया, अब वो कम नहीं है, now it is not less than the time delay, the time which is given for one particular frame. Now I can go, now this is not needed, now I can go and start building my next frame. Yes guys, if somebody doesn't understand, Gurleen, Mahit, anybody, please let me know, I'll unmute you and then I'll try to explain you guys. Now you understand what is this last time? This is my starting time. This is my start time which I started executing this particular frame. And this is my current time, which is current time after completing my computation. Anybody has any problem in this? Any single person? This is important. You'll realize how we actually implement FPS, frame per seconds. Okay, so now what's the problem? I am able to understand ki mereko, how I want to. What, Harsha, do you want to ask something? Yes, Harsha. Great. So now what I know how to fix my screen. Now the only problem remains is how to find these times, yaar. Sir, ab time कर रहे हो, लेकिन how I am going to find these times? So how will you be able to find these times? So we do not know any code until now. So what we need to do? We need to use another kind of library. We need to use another library. There is this library hash include chrono.h, or let's say chrono only, hash include chrono. This library actually allows us, it gives us the time needed. It gives us the time which I need. How? Let us start implementing it. Let me erase this stuff. Are we all clear what's the problem? What's the need? Why we need the library? Because we need that time, that last time and the current time. Okay. So now let us just initialize our last time here. Int last time is equal to, the way we access the time is like this. We write chrono, then these two marks. It says कि chrono के अंदर जाओ, go to chrono, then go to system clock. Something will be present in this system clock. Some system clock will be present in chrono. Go to chrono and then to system clock. Okay. And then after going to the system clock, there you will find a function called now. This would give me eventually the time. Okay. Now you will say कि sir हमें कैसे पता कि ऐसे execute होगा? How do we know that this thing will be executed? You'll go to this chrono library, you'll search on the Google Chrome, you see the documentation, then you'll be able to find out how to actually get the current time, right? So this is the way we get the time. But now the thing is, time is not an integer. Time cannot be an integer. So we do not know the data type. Either we go on the site and check the data type, or I also want to introduce one more thing here. You don't actually need to know the type. What you can write is auto. Now what auto does, there need to be right hand side for this auto to work. What auto does, auto कहता है, I do not care last time what's your data type. I do not care. If you haven't provided, okay. What I'll do, I'll just check what type of thing this particular thing is returning. I'll go and check what your RHS is returning, what type of data your RHS is returning, and the same I would allocate it to you. This auto works like this. It was not present in C++ before, but after C++ 11, it was there in C++. So what this auto does, that I will take your data type just to the data type which is returning from here. Okay. Now, if you try to write it like this, auto X and then terminator, this would not work. Auto always need a right hand side so that it can evaluate what type of data is coming. Yes, guys, is this auto thing clear? Anybody has any doubt in this auto thing? Yes, other than Maheep? Anybody has any doubt in this auto thing? Since I do not know this data type, either I have to go and check what's the data type, or I can use auto, right? Because there is a RHS and the data type of this particular thing, whatever the data type of this particular thing will be the data type of last time. In the similar way, we'll calculate the current time. So let us just copy it. Auto current time. Auto current time is this, and let us take int dt as the time difference. Dt, if you remember from derivatives, let us take dt as the time difference. So what I want to do is I want to run a loop while dt is less than this time delay between frames. Dt is the time difference of current time and the last time. Let me just paste it here. Time delay between frames. While dt is less than time delay between frames, just keep on running this particular loop. Again, go and find out the dt. Current time minus last time. Current time minus last time. Yes, guys? Yes, and also we have to do this last time thing inside this particular loop only. We have to do this last time thing inside this particular loop only. So last time, let us just copy it from here only. So we calculated last time. Then we had this current time, auto current time minus last time. Okay. Now I want to calculate this dt actually. Right, Roshan, right, actually. Guys, Roshan says, sir, for the very first iteration, dt is not initialized. dt is not assigned. तो अब क्या checking होगी? For the very first iteration, dt is not initialized. So what do we do? Is there anything which we can do, guys? Is there anything you know which we can do? Yes. That I do not know the value of dt at the very first time. Can you suggest me something? Exactly, Rahul. Definitely. Right, Gurli. When we do not know what my entry condition is. So what I can do, I can actually restrict my exit condition. So what I can do, I'll just remove it from here. I'll write do and I'll write while. Yes, guys. Yes, in the very first time it will enter, it will calculate current time, it will calculate the difference, and then it will check if dt is less than time, then it will go again, otherwise it will exit the loop. Now another use case of do while. Yes, guys, got it? Another use case of do while. Nice observation, Roshan. Good. So now I want to call the difference here. Now I want to see the difference here. Now you cannot just subtract these two differences. So what happened? You just go to the site of Chrono and you identified, yeah, I want to find the number of seconds only or number of microseconds only. I do not care about time. I have my time delay between frame in microseconds. I have it in microseconds. So I also want the time difference in microseconds only. I also want the time difference in microseconds only. So you go on the site, you check it, how you have to do. So the way to do is current time minus last time dot count. Current time minus last time dot count. It will count the number of seconds or the milliseconds or the microseconds. We do not know what type of data it will return. Okay, we do not know. What we can do is whatever type of data it returns, either in hours, either in minutes, either in milliseconds or microseconds, we can cast it. We can actually convert it into microseconds. And there is another way to do it. There is way present to do it, which is right? Chrono, go inside chrono and do the duration cast. Go inside chrono and do duration cast. And duration cast करना है, मुझे जो duration आई है उसको cast करना है किसमें, microseconds में. So you'll see, you'll go on the website and you'll see that the way to do is std, go into chrono, and then you want to convert it to microsecond, convert it into microseconds. Yes guys, is this fine? Is this fine? Anybody has any doubt on this? Any single person who says, no sir, I do not understand this thing, please tell me again or repeat it again. What we did, we calculated last time. We do not need this thing now. We calculated last time. Okay? We calculated last time. Then here we calculated current time. I'll do Vignesh, I'll do. So we calculate current time, and then what I did, I actually calculated the difference between those time. I counted it, and then I converted the time into microseconds. Now guys, tell me, I want the 10 frames to be executed per second. I want 10 frames to be executed per second. So what would be the time delay between each frame? I want 10 frames to be executed per second. Do some mathematics and tell me what would be the time between two frames or time delay between frames. Quickly do the maths and tell me. Tell me in microsecond, Roshan. Tell me, we are using microseconds. Tell me in microseconds. Right, Roshan, right? Yes, right, Gurleen. Yes, guys. Tell me the answer of it. I want 10 frames per second. I want 10 frames per second. So what should be this value? Time delay between frames. Calculate it mathematically, guys. I want 10 frames in 1 second. In 1 second, I want 10 frames. So what should be the time taken by one frame? Yes. What should be the time delay between frames? Yes, guys, mathematics. Mahib says 0.1 second, fine, 0.1 second, fine, exactly. Oh, I told you the answer. Akif, not 1000 millisecond, actually 100 millisecond. Or let's say we are focusing on microseconds. So 10 frames in 1 second. So one frame in 0.1 second. One frame in 0.1 second. And 1 second has how many microseconds? 1 second has how many microseconds? 10 raised to power 6 microsecond, 10 raised to power 6 microseconds. 10 raised to power 6 microseconds. So 0.1 second is equals to how many microsecond? 10 raised to power 5 microsecond. 10 raised to power 5 microseconds. Yes, little bit of maths. So the time delay between two frames will be 10 raised to power 5 microseconds, because we are taking the difference in microseconds. So let us take time delay 10 raised to power 5 microseconds, and let us just run the code. Okay, great. Yeah. So now, see guys, can you see the speed has been decreased? Can you see the speed has been decreased, guys? Now I want to decrease the speed more, or I want to increase the speed. First of all, I want to decrease the speed more. How can I decrease the speed more? Tell me. How can I decrease the speed more? How can I decrease the speed more? Reduce the FPS, or increase this time delay between frames. Increase time delay. So I'll do 5. Let us do 5 into 10 raised to 5 microseconds. Make. See, can you see the speed has been decreased? Can you see the speed has been decreased? Now I do not remember who asked the question, but now can you guys control the speed of this snake? Can you guys control the speed of the snake? Vignesh says, Vignesh, 1 second is 10 raised to power 3 millisecond, but 10 raised to power 6 microseconds. 10 raised to power 6 microseconds. So now I am able to control my snake. I am able to control the speed of my snake. Right, guys? So guys, tell me these type of things. These type of things. You go into settings and then you get these type of things which you can manage yourself. In a game, what happens? You go to settings and then you manage it. Right? So what we can do, rather than putting this here, what we can do, we can eventually make another file. Settings, let's say constants. Setting constants.h. Why we made this file? Because we do not have to go into game to change this. We do not have to go into UI to change something. We do not have to go into game to change the speed. What we are going to do, we are going to put every setting which we can control into this particular file. Okay. So if we want to change the setting of anything, we just have to go to one place and we can change the settings. Yes, guys, is this clear? So let us just pick this thing from here and go to settings constants, control V, and let us make it a constant. Now, this making of constant, there are two reasons for this. First thing, I do not want in the remaining code that somebody should change my time delay. Okay, first thing is this. Other thing is, after completing this whole game, I will be telling you another thing about linkers. Okay, then you will realize why const is important here. If I go and tell you a link about this thing now, then it will become very, very, very heavy for you. Let us first complete the game and then I'll tell you why it has to be a constant. Okay, guys. Now currently just assume that in a header file, declaring constants or defining constants are way, way better. If you're going to do this, you're going to run into a problem. Okay, why? I'll tell you at the end of the building this game. Is it fine, guys? Constant, let us declare our headers, if and def, constants h, hashtag define, constants h, okay, and def. Guys, and let me just run the code. Now time delay between frame is not present here. We have to include that file also. Include setting.constant.h. Okay, fine. Now the speed is controlled, border is present, and a little bit of snake is present. Okay. Anybody has any doubt until now? Anybody has any kind of doubt until now? Then we'll be going more into our game logic. Any kind of doubt until now? And even this project, it seems interesting or it's just quite boring. Is there any learning happening? Yes, Anshul, I'll repeat it by 10 to the power 5. So Anshul, see, what I wanted is, कि I want 10 frames to be executed in 1 second. Okay, Anshul? First thing clear? Yeah. Now, I am finding the difference of time. in microseconds. Okay, Anshul? I am finding the difference of time in microsecond. My dt is in microsecond. So this particular thing should be in microsecond to compare these two things. Yes. So now I want to find कि 10 frames has to be executed in 1 second. Okay. So now I want to find कि एक frame कितना time लेगा. That is the time delay between frames. Do you understand the definition of time delay between frames? Right. Exactly, Anshul. It will take 100 milliseconds. Absolutely right. 100 milliseconds. But I need it in microseconds. 1 second is 10 raised to the 6 microsecond. So 0.1 second will be equal to 10 raised to the 5 microseconds. That is why the value of That is why the value of this thing is, we can just do it 10 raised to power 5. Okay, Anshul? Anybody who still has a doubt in this thing? Anybody who still has doubt in this thing? Yes? Nobody? Great. So see this thing, one more thing I want to tell you. See the error here. They are only telling us warning. That's why my code was running. These are just warnings. So my code was running. What it says, that O2 type specifier is C++1, C++11 extension. कि जो O2 है ना, it was present in C++11. So it is quite possible that my VS Code setting is somehow maybe of previous, previous extensions or previous versions, right? The settings of my VS Code might be of previous versions, but it is still running it because it knows this thing that auto is C++11 and I will run it for you. Don't worry, I will run it for you. I'm just showing the warning. So how to get rid of this warning? How to get rid of this warning? We can get rid of this warning in the make file. In this my particular command, I can also mention which version I want to use. I can also mention which version I can use. How to mention? std equals to C++, let's say I want to use 17. What I told it, that just use C++ 17 to compile the program. Okay, I told it just use C++ to compile the program. C++ 17. So make. This time it didn't show any warning. This time it did not show any warning. Okay, guys. So now if you want to use C++ 11, you can just do C++ 11 here, or you can just do C++ 14 here, or you can just do C++ 17 here. Is it fine, guys? Yes? Any doubts? Okay, let us move forward. Now I want my game logic, which is the latest. I think C++ 17, or I do not know after that if some version has come. Just check it on Google. I do not remember. The stable version most probably C++ 17. More version have come, but they might not be that stable enough. The stable version which I know, which I have been using, is C++ 17. Just check it on Google if there is any latest version after C++ 17. Okay, where were we? Yeah, we did our UI, we wrote our event loop, and we tear down our UI. Now what I want to do, I want to start execute or start building this game logic. I want to start building this game logic. Now tell me, currently my snake is moving. Currently my snake is moving. What should I do next? What should I do next? Currently my snake is moving like this. Roshan, you straight away want to end the game. Yeah, relax. You do not want to straight away end the game, right? Roshan is saying end game when it hits the border. Relax. We do not want to straight away end the game. We first want to focus on some things by which we can change the direction of our snake. We first want to focus on things by which we can first control the snake or change the direction of the snake. Right? So let us start implementing that thing. Let us start implementing that thing. Main.cpp, here is my game logic. So what I can do is we can go to game.cpp, and what I can do is I can take an input from the user. I can take a input. Relax. No, Sarath. First of all, let us control the snake. Let us try to do the movements. Then we'll go to food items. So what I did, I took input from the user. Okay. And on the basis of those input, what I can do, if key is double equal to, let's say we want to control it by WASD. If key is W, so rather than take I, let us take int x equals to 10 and y equals to 10 was my starting position. This was my starting position. So if key is W, I want to move up. To move up, what I have to do? X minus minus. In the similar way, else if key is, let's say, S, what I want to do? X plus plus. Let's just copy this. If key is A, I want to move left. If key is D, I want to move right. Yes. Now let us do one more thing. Let us just take this paint border. Yeah. So now I want to move. I want to move to x comma y particular position, not 10 comma I. I want to move x comma y and I want to print this thing. And let us just get rid of this thing also. What I did, guys, I took the starting position in text and y. Then I took the input from the user. Then I took the input from the user. And then on the basis of the input, WASD keys, on the basis of that input, I just decided the next thing. If my input is W means up, I just have to decrease my rows. Yes, in the similar way, x plus plus, y minus minus, y plus plus. And then what I did, move to that position and add this character. Move to that position and add this character. Right, guys? So let us go and see this. Make. Now it waits for an input. It waits for an input. Let us say I give this input. It's not working. It is sticking something like it's not helping us. It's waiting for an input. What is happening here is my input is blocking the remaining code. My input is blocking the remaining code. Yes, it works when I hold the key. It kind of works when I hold the key. It kind of works when I hold the key. Not as much. It kind of works when I hold the key. But what is happening? This input is blocking us. This input is blocking us from normally following the procedure, right? This is kind of a blocking input. This is kind of a blocking input. In the case of calculator we built, we only wanted blocking input. What we used to do? We used to present some menu and then we wanted the input. Then we wanted the user to input. So we blocked our code. We do not do any kind of operations there. User enters the value. We perform the calculation and then we give the output. There, the blocking our input output was actually good. That is what was required. But now here, we do not need blocking input. My snake can just keep on moving. I just do not want to stick the save and then take the input. My input can come any particular time. Yes, guys? Do you understand this thing? No, Anshul, no, Lu. We already have a function for this type of thing. Okay, so what we need to do to make this get ch blocking, to make this get ch unblocking, we just need to go here when we are initializing our UI. We just have to give no delay. Do not delay when we are inputting. SCR true. This would stop get ch to block my input. This would stop get ch to block my input. Let us do this thing and let us make. So now you can see. I can move. I am able to move this thing. WASD. I am able to move this thing. Yes, guys. Now my get ch doesn't block the input. Now what happens is, हो क्या रहा है? While loop में आए, we entered into the while loop, and then we went to the game logic function. If there was some kind of input, it will take the input. If the user doesn't want to input anything, it will not stop us. It will execute this code, nothing matched with this key, and it will eventually paint the border, and it will eventually print the particular hash at that particular position. If let's say sometime user enter the WASD keys, it will take this input and execute this if and else, and then eventually print the thing. Yes, guys? Is this blocking and unblocking of input clear? What was the problem and what was the solution? Is this clear? Anybody has any doubt in it? Then we'll move forward. Yes? So let us paint the border in the starting only. This is the thing which we always want to do. We always want to paint the border. Okay, this is the thing we actually always want to do. Make. Wait, guys. Now see, I'm able to move. Where I am going, I'm able to move at any particular position. So now I'm able to control my snake. I am able to change its direction, right? I'm able to change its direction. So now let us see what we need to do next. Let us see what we need to do next. So tell me one more thing. Tell me one more thing. This WSAD, you can also use the arrows key. You can also use the arrows key. So isn't it a kind of setting only? Isn't it a kind of setting only? You can change your controls. Yes. So in the similar way, let us do not use WASAD to compare. Let us just go to our settings and let us just say const int up, down, and what do you want? Left and right. Left, right. So right is what? Right is what? WASD. D is right. Left is what? A is left. A is left. Down is what? Down is my S. Okay. And up is what? Up is your W. So this way, what you did, you actually used some constants to represent it rather than directly comparing. Now, if you need to use a direction anywhere, you just need to use up, down, left, right. If you want to change, you can just come here and change it. You do not have to change it in everywhere. Just like in the calculator, we declared a constant at the top of for the Zen mode and for the normal mode, right, guys? If you guys remember. So now, what are the changes we need to make? We need to use up here and then down here, then left here, sorry, right here, left, this, and we also want to include, so let us include that constants file also, hash include my settings constant. Yes, if you want to control it with arrow keys, you just need to find out the ASCII values for the arrows keys, and then you can control it with arrows keys. We'll control it with arrows keys later on in the stage. Okay, guys. Now we are able to control our game. We are able to control our snake. Now let us start focusing ourselves into the game. Yes, Varun. Yes, you can exactly do that. Varun is saying, sir, cannot we do this thing? कि आपके अंदर that it should work with WASD also. It should work with arrows also. So what you can do? You can just go into this file and declare arrow up. Arrow up. ठीक है, ऐसे ही एक और variable declare कर लो. और then what we can do? Then after declaring those variables, what you can do? Let us declare those variables also. This is my arrow up. This is my arrow down. This is my arrow left. If you want to use both, this is the thing, if you want to use both of them, and now you can come to game.cpp file and you can write if k is up or your k is arrow up. Right, guys? You can use this thing. Do you understand? Does everybody understand this thing? What Varun asked? Great. So let us not keep it for now. Let us just comment this thing also. Great. So now let's focus on building a game. Now what we want, as soon as I start the game, there should be something like press any key to start, or shall I start playing the game? What's your opinion? What should be there? As I start the game, there should be a small sentence to start the game, or should I just start playing the game? Yes, exactly. So there should be a press any key to start. Then the game starts. And the person plays with the keys. Can I say there are some different states to the game? One state is before start and other state is after starting. Can I say there are different states of the game? Yes. So this is how you do when you do game development. You just build some states. Okay, this is one state of the game. This is another state of the game. This is another state of the game. So currently we have two states. So const int. Let us one state is before start. Let us state one state is before start, and let us denote it by 0, and let us take another state to be started. Let us take another state to be started. One state is when before starting, when the game is not started, you have to print the string that press any key to start, right? And the other state is that the game is started and now you want to find the logic. So you have break down your complete game into two different states and then keep on doing at the later stages, right? Do you understand this, guys? Any problem until now? Yes? Any problem until now? No? Great. So now what do we want to do? First of all, we need to check the state. So we need to take a variable here. What is the state? So let's say int game state. By default, what should be my game state? 0, exactly, Harsha. It will be before start. Right? By default, this should be my game state, right? So if my game state is double equals to before start, what I need to do? I need to print something. So move to, let's say, 10,10 position. And add ch something. Now currently this is add ch. It can only print one single character. So there is another function which is add str. It will allow you to print a whole string. So let's say we can say press space to start. Let's just fix the key. Press space to start. Okay. We are saying press space to start. Now we have to check if the person has actually pressed space or not. Right, guys? So if key is double equals to space, do you know the sky value for space? It is 32. The sky value for space is 32. If the person presses the space, what we need to do? Start the game. What we need to do? Start the game. Yes, guys. Any problem in this if statement? No? Great. So we need to start the game. So how do we start the game? Let's suppose, one thing is, Harsha is absolutely right. One thing is game state should be moved to started. Right, guys? And what are all other things which you see when you start the game? You see a snake. Yes. You see some foods. Yes, guys. And will my snake be moving in one particular direction when I start the game? Or it will be just stopped? It will be moving into one particular direction. Yes. So what we need to do? We need to do some things. We need to initialize the snake. We need to bring a snake. We need to bring some food. We need to give a direction to the snake. And the last thing is we also need to change the game state. So, right, in any kind of direction, we can move it in any kind of direction. So let us just write another function for this thing. Which is start game. So let us implement this function. Void start game. Why we are writing functions? Because it is good to write the function. Whenever I want to change anything, whenever I want to change what I want to do in the starting, I just have to do it into this function, right? So let's say you have to init snake first. Let's say you have to init food. And then let's say what you have to do. You have to take a direction. And let's say initially my direction is up. I am going upwards. So let us take another variable direction. Int direction. Okay. Int direction. So let's say in the starting I am moving up only. And one more thing I want to do game state game state equals to started. Game snake equals to started. So now my start game function is ready. Now my start game function is ready. I have already done the thing for one state. Before start state is done. Yes, guys? Is my before start state is done? Yes. Do I need to do anything else in before start state? I just want to display this and I just want to check if the key is space. I just need to start the game. Yes, guys? Is my one state done? Great. Now either I should write these first, or before writing these first, let us write what would happen if my state is not the before start state. Let's say if my state is started state. Let's say if my state is started state. So let's say the game is moving. The game is done, the game is open. So now tell me what are options. There are two options. Either keep moving snake, nobody is pressing any keys. You have to just make cases, either keep moving snake or react to the key inputs, right? These are the things I want to do. Either I'll just keep moving the snake or I'll just start taking the inputs. So what I'll see, let me just copy it. I'll start taking the inputs. If key is up, now currently let's assume my snake was moving in the right direction. If somebody pressed key up, so I should change the direction. Previously there was only one hash, so I was doing x minus minus or y plus plus. So it's not the game of only single hash. The snake would be long. So what should I do? I should change the direction. So what should I do? Direction is equals to up. Right? In the similar way, I should change the directions everywhere. Direction here, and direction here. So this direction will become down. This direction will become left, and this direction will become right. Is this clear, guys? So I have reacted to my inputs. Yes, guys. I have reacted to my inputs. Now tell me one thing. अगर आपका snake ऊपर जा रहा है, if your snake is moving into the up direction, can you press the down key and it will turn downwards? No. You have to think of these corner cases, guys. You have to think of these corner cases. This is what is required from a software developer, to think the corner cases. So what I need to do, if my key is up, if I have pressed up, but if my snake was going down, I cannot do this thing. So I'll have to say, and then direction should not be equals to down. Sorry, direction, if I am going down, and I press up, if direction is not equals to down, then I can only execute this thing, right? In the similar way, I'll say, if I am going up and if somebody presses down, I should not execute that thing. Direction is up. If direction is not equals to up and somebody presses down, then I should only execute that thing. Direction not equals to right, and direction and direction not equals to left. Yes, is this thing clear now? Is this done now? Is this movement of keys done now? And then eventually what I need to do, I need to, let's say, paint the snake. I want to paint the snake on the screen. After just moving into these direction, I just want to paint the snake on the screen. Okay, now let us quickly start building these functions. Init snake, paint snake, right? Let us quickly start using the snake.cpp. So hash include snake.h, So let me just write the functions here first. Void init snake. There will be a function for init snake. There will be a function for painting the snake. So let us go back to CPP and just let us init the snake. Void init snake. So for now, let us assume कि हमारे पास एक hash ही है. Let us assume the snake is just a hash. Then we'll proceed further. So we'll need to, what we need to do? These are the coordinates of the snake first. These are the coordinates. So in the initialization of snake, we need to tell the coordinate of that hash, right? That is how we initialize the snake. We just tell the position of that snake in the very starting thing. So let's say x is 10 and y is 10 also. My snake was is 10 and 10. So I have initialized my snake. I have initialized my snake. Now what I want to do? I want to paint the snake. I want to paint the snake. Okay, so how will I paint the snake? I'll just go to move to x comma y and add ch, let's say hash. So I have painted my snake and I have initialized my snake. So let us go back to game.cpp and see. Let us include the game. Let us include the file here also. The snake file. Hash include snake.h. Yes. Also, let us just comment this init food for now. We'll execute it in some time. Okay, and then paint the border and then paint the snake. Now paint the snake is available. And we need to change one more thing, make file. We need to add snake.cpp here and snake.cpp here. Okay, so game.cpp, every file is saved. This file is not saved. Main file is not saved. Game.cpp, yeah. So now just let us just comment this thing out and let us see what happens. Add ch and move. Okay, we need to use that library also. Hash include curses.h. Hash include curses.h. Let's make this thing. Duplicate symbol y. We are using okay. We just do not need these things now. What happened, guys? See, I need to tell you this thing. There was this x and y here. Yes, there was this x and y here in game.cpp file, right? And there was this x and y here in snake.cpp file. And I want to compile both this file, and my linker will eventually come and link this file. So मेरे पास I have x and y in snake also. I have x and y in game also. My linker will say, what are you doing, guys? You are having conflicts. You both are having the same variable. You both are declaring the same variables. So remove ones. Okay, so that's why I removed int xy from it. So now let us make this file. See, press space to start. It is saying press space to start. It was a before state. Now as soon as I press space, it's printed hash. It printed hash. And now, oh, it's not actually moving. It's not moving, guys. What happened? We removed x and y, but okay. But there is x and y, yeah. There is x and y, Roshan. There is x and y. What happened, guys? Can anybody quickly identify what happened? There is x and y. We are printing x and y. Why it is not moving when I am pressing WASD? This is the file for snake.cpp. This is the file for game.cpp. Quickly identify the problem, guys. I'm changing the direction, so what is happening? I'm changing the direction here. Right, Roshan, right. Absolutely right. Guys, identify the problem. This is my game.cpp. Okay. And this is my snake.cpp. Quickly identify the problem, guys. Yes. Exactly, Gurleen, right. What we have done, we are initializing it with 10,10, but we are never changing our position. We are never changing our position. It is always remaining x and y. We are only changing the direction here. We are only changing the direction here. We are never changing the positions, x and y. right? So we should change the positions also. So what we need to do, before painting the snake, we need to move the snake. Before painting the snake, we also need to move the snake. But to move the snake, I should know in which direction I should move. Yes, guys? Before moving the snake, I should know in which direction I should move. So I should pass the direction here also. I should pass the direction here also. So let us implement this move snake. Since moving of snake is a property of snake, we'll execute it into snake only. So we have painted the snake, but we also want to move the snake. We also want to move the snake. And we'll take direction as an input. And on the basis of this direction, let us just copy paste it from here only. Yeah. On the basis of this direction, I will be changing my x and y values. So my key will be replaced by direction here. My key will be replaced by direction here. And this code will be removed. This code is removed. We also remove the one. And direction is up, direction is up, direction is left. Two left are remaining. Right. Now, rather than changing the direction, what I want to do here, I actually want to change the coordinates. So let us put when direction is up, so I need x minus minus. When the direction is down, I want x plus plus, y minus minus, and y plus plus. So can you see how we are moving the snake on the basis of direction? Yes, guys? Any doubt in this thing? We also have to declare this thing here, void move snake, and my input is int. We can say only int. We discuss this in the function. We just need to tell the data type of parameter and it will work. So let me just give the more information that we need to pass the direction. Okay, now main.cpp, game.cpp, we have to move the snake and in the particular direction. Do we have up, down, and left, right here? No. So we also need to include the constants here. Hash include and settings.constants. So let me run the code. So press space to start. Now my movement is happening. See, it is running, and now I'm pressing this. So can I say my snake is working nicely? Yes, guys. So now my snake is working absolutely fine. We have initialized the snake, painted the snake, and moving the snake. Now what should we do next? Tell me, what should we focus on next? Shall we focus on building the actual snake? Yes. Shall we focus on building the actual snake, guys? So let us start modifying her. Currently, my snake is just a piece of hash. So now, Mahi will move on food. First, let us develop the snake completely. Okay. Then we'll move on food. Okay, Mahi. So let us develop my snake. So tell me, guys. Currently, it was just a single snake. Hash. So what do you think? What do you think my snake would be made up of? Or how can I model my snake? How can I represent my snake? What is my snake in this particular program? Tell me. Block? No, I am not asking the graphical representation, Harsha. I am not asking the graphical representation. I am asking how should I represent my snake inside my program? Varun says array of hashes. Okay, array of hashes. Okay. Roshan says array of characters. Okay. Anyone else who wants to take a call? What thing is actually representing my snake now? What thing is actually representing my string now? I'm not asking about, guys, graphical representation. No. I am not asking about graphical representation. This is a hint to you. Currently, which thing represent my snake? Not the graphical representation. Forget the graphical representation. How I am able to print my snake or how I am able to access my snake, guys. Exactly right, Varun. Exactly right. Right, Mahmood. Absolutely right. Yes, Mahip, you are on to it. Absolutely right. You are on to it. Yes, guys. More people, please tell me the answer. Not the representation. I do not care about the representation, guys. I do not care about the representation. No, Gurleen, I do not. Gurleen, understand this thing. Understand this thing. How I am able to print my snake actually? Using what thing I am able to print? I am able to print using @ch, but I need to use another thing also. No, I need to have something. I need to have a thing so that I can print it. I need to have a sheet of paper to draw it. This is a hint. I need to have a sheet of paper to draw it. I need to have a kitchen to go and pick apples from it. In the similar way, I need to add something so that I can actually print my snake on it graphically. But in the code, what is representing my snake? Can't I say this actually coordinates are telling me my snake? Yes. Yes, Gurleen. This is the graphical representation I am talking about. This is the graphical representation of snake. This is graphical. I do not care about it. I care about how I am going to model my snake, how I am going to store my snake. I need to have coordinates. I need to have coordinates. And if my snake is long, I will have multiple coordinates. I will have multiple coordinates. Yes. So can I say that my snake will be represented by array of coordinates? Array of coordinates. Yes, guys. Can I say this thing? So tell me one thing. Will array work fine here? Will array work fine here in this particular situation? No. Gurleen says no. Mahip says yes, sir. 2D array. Mahip, would array is of fixed size. Exactly right, Mamun. Right, Sarath, and right, Roshan. Array is of fixed size, but I do not know how much long my snake would grow. But I do not know how much long my snake would grow. So now you realize what's the importance of vector. So actually I want, no, I cannot use array. I cannot use array. What I want vector of coordinates. I want vector of coordinates, right? So what I want, vector of coordinates. We want to represent my body. I want vector of not integers here. I want vector of coordinates. So coordinates are two. Can I say I need a 2D vector? Yes, guys. Can I say I need a 2D vector? Because I also need column. Column size would be 2. Because my coordinates will be like this. 10, 10, let's say 10, 11. My coordinates will be like this. So in every row, I need two elements. In every row, I need two elements. So can I just say it's vector of vectors? Can I say this thing? Yes. And then if I want to access my x coordinate, I can access by this body of I comma 0. And if I want to access my y coordinate, I can access it like this body of I comma 1. Yes, guys. Can I say I can represent my snake body using vector of vectors? Anybody has any problem in this? Anybody has any problem in this particular thing? No? Now we can use this. You can also use this. Try using this. But I want to introduce you to a new thing so that we can work on this thing. Somebody asked me in the class also. Sir, what is this? Pair int comma int. Pair int comma int. What do you think? By the name of it, what do you think? What is it? What is this thing? By the name of it, what is this thing? Pair of what? Pair of two integers? Yes, it is pair of two integers, and that is what we want. We want x and y, two coordinates. So can we use pair of? This is the thing. This is one type of thing. This is one type of thing which exists, and I want to use this so that you can also get to know more things. We can use vector of vectors definitely, but I want to use this. Okay? Is it fine, guys? Now this whole structures become 2D. Now this whole structure become 2D, where vector is representing rows and this pair is representing a thing. A pair is present inside the first value. So it is something like this. It is something like this. This is the pair 1, 2. This is the pair 2, 3. This is the pair, let's say 10, 10. Yes. So what was happening? Before in a vector, we were actually inserting only single integer. We were inserting only, let's say, single integer. Now I want 2. So either I can make it as a vector. So rather than making it as a vector, what we are doing, we are making it a pair of integers. Because we know that only 2 integers are required. Because we know only 2 integers are required. So we can actually use pair. And moving forward, pair comes very handy. Pair comes very handy. There are many use cases of pair. Okay, guys. So do you understand what is a pair? So this is a vector, and at every position of vector there is a pair. Do you understand this, guys? So this is kind of a vector. This is a vector, and at vector body of 0, this is body of 0. This is body of 0. Body of 0 contains this particular value. Body of 1 contains this particular value, this whole value. Body of 2 contains, this is a vector of size 3. This is vector of size 3, which contain 3 pairs. So body of 0 contain this, body of 1 contain this, body of 2 contain this. Is this clear, guys? Is this clear, guys? Anybody has? Roshan will do that. Don't worry. Roshan is asking, sir, how to fill this vector. Roshan is asking how to fill this vector. We will do that. Roshan, it's like a 2D array, but not exactly 2D array. 2D array is what? Array of arrays. It is not array of arrays. It is something else. Array is not present inside an array. A pair is inside present. It is a different kind of data type. It is a different kind of. It resembles 2D array, but it is not exactly 2D array, right? It resembles 2D array. And also, if you need to access this value, Anshul, right. In the vector, I am actually going to store coordinates. In the vector, I am actually going to store coordinates. And then while I am going to print it, I am just going to move to those coordinates and print hashes. Isn't it? Isn't my snake actually represented by coordinates? Yes, Anshul? Isn't my snake actually represented by coordinates? Nothing else? Until now, we were using only coordinates to represent my snake. Init snake, when I was initializing snake, I only had one hash. But now, my snake would look like this. Like hash. So now I need these much particular number of coordinates. Right, Anshul? Now I need these many coordinates to actually print my snake. To actually display it on the screen. So that's why I have to take a vector to store all those coordinates. Okay, Anshul? Great. So now let us start building. So let us say initially my snake size is 3. So let us fix the size. Initially when the game starts, my snake size is 3. So first thing we will do is body.clear. It's quite possible that I did not exited my game, but I again started it. So I just want to remove everything which is in my body vector, right? So let's say my snake was this, and my game I just I just stuck to the boundary. I just struck to the boundary. So now my snake, I want to restart the game. My game would be restarted by this only. Yes? Yes, guys. Whenever I want to initialize the snake, I just want to first remove every coordinate. I just want to first clear the whole vector. So this function clear is used to clear the vector. Okay, to remove all the data. Now what I am going to do, how do we enter values into a vector? How do we enter values into a vector? How do we enter values in a vector, guys? Right, Roshan? More answers, please. Right. Body is my vector. I am going to push back. I am going to push back a value. Previously, we were pushing back integers. But now I want to push back this pair. So what I'll do, I'll just use these two curly braces. And write, let's say the first location is 10, 10. Hard code it. Let's say the next position is, my snake's initial position is, I'll enter another position, let's say 10, 11. And let's say body dot push back 10, 12. Okay, guys, can we do this thing? Achha, tell me one thing. Can I do this thing? 12, 11 or 14, 12. Can I do this thing? Anybody who says, हाँ sir, मैं ये भी तो कर सकता हूँ. Is my snake cut into pieces and different at different position? So it should be sequence, and it should be in a sequence way, right? No diagonal movements. No, diagonal movements is not the point here, Roshan. No diagonal movements is not the point. Have you seen any snake like this? That one part of snake is here, one part of snake is here, and one part of snake is here. Have you ever seen such kind of snake? Yes. Yeah, it should be contiguous. See the values coordinates here. It should be. It can be like this. It can be like this. It can be like this. Hash, 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 hash. It can be like this. Snake can be like this. This snake is still continuous, right? This snake is still continuous. Understood, Roshan? Great. So now what I need to do is, let's say 10, 11 and 10, 12. So what we did, we actually initialized a snake of 3 length. I'll be taking 5 to 7 minutes more, guys. We'll just be working on snake and then we'll do the class. Okay. So what we did, we just took the size of snake as 3 initially. Right, guys? Now do you understand how to create the pair? Do you understand how to create the pair? You just need to do this. These two brackets, x, y. Either you can put variables here or you can put constants here. Yes? Isn't it easy? If we would have taken vectors of vector, we would have created an empty vector, then pushed into it. Why to go into such nuisance when we know that there is something like pair exists? Yes? So now I was telling you, you would say, sir, how to access, or let's say move here. Now I want to paint the snake. Now I want to draw the snake on the screen. What should I do? Yes, guys, tell me quickly. What should I do to draw the snake on the screen? Now I do not have one coordinate. I have multiple coordinates. Exactly, Roshan. Right. Guys, quickly write. What should I use to print this whole snake now? It is quite possible. Currently, I have 10 coordinate pairs or 5 coordinate pairs or 7 coordinate pairs. Quickly tell me, what should I do to print the snake? Previously, I only had one coordinate. Now I do not have one coordinate. I have multiple coordinates. Guys, come on. What do you do when you have an array and you want to print it? What do you do then? Right, Mahip? You have an array, you have a vector, and you want to print the whole vector. What do you do? Right, Mamoon. Guys, yes, exactly, loop. So what will I do? For int I equals to 0, I is less than body dot size. We discuss this size function, right? It will give me the size of the vector I plus plus. Okay, body dot size, paint the snake, and what will I do? I will paint the snake. So I will move to some x h, add ch, hash there, add ch hash there. So I just need x and y there. I just need x and y there. So what you can do is, let's say pair int comma int location. What my from my vector? This is a pair. I told you here. This is a pair. Yes, guys. This particular thing is a pair. Body of I will give me a pair. And what I did, I stored into a pair. I stored it into a pair. Now, how can I access the first element, the x? Using this location dot first. By using dot first, we can access the first element. Then location dot second. We can access the second element. Okay, guys. We could have just skipped this. We could have just skipped this, and we might have write it like this: move body of I not first. Body of I is what? My pair. So we could have also write it like this: body of I is pair. उस pair का first element. उस pair का first element. Body of I dot second. Body of I dot second. So you can also do this thing. Okay, guys, you can also do this thing. We moved to that particular location and we printed this character. We moved to that particular location and we printed this character. Right? Any doubt till now? Any doubt till now? Yes, guys. Any doubt till now? Tell me quickly, guys. No doubt? So we'll be stopping here. It's already 10. We could have done the move snake also. We could have. Anshul, ask me. No problem, ask me. We are stopping here because it's already 10. And then if I extend the class, you guys would have some issues. Or you might have something else to do. So it's quite fine. So I'm stopping at this position. What we did, we initialized the snake and then we painted the snake. But now what remains? What remains? We also want to move the snake. Currently, previously we only had x and y's only, right? Previously we only had x and y only single coordinate. Now I do not have single coordinate. I have multiple coordinates. I have multiple coordinates. So try to think, how will I move? Try to think, how will I move this? How will I write this function now? Okay, this is your assignment, guys. This is your assignment for today. We'll be moving on. We'll be meeting back on Saturday. It is your assignment that I have already told you how to initialize the snake, how to paint the snake. Now, I do not have a single coordinate. I have multiple coordinates. I have to move the whole snake. If I am moving into the right direction, if my snake is like this, I have to move to right direction one. So think about it. How can I move the snake to the right? And I want answer in the next class. Try to think about it. Okay, guys? Is it fine? Yes. We'll be stopping here. In the next class, we'll be making the snake complete. We'll be making the food. We'll be having some, the game ending things that it would strike, the snake would strike itself, or the snake would strike the boundary, then the game will end. Now, whosoever has the doubt in today's class, any doubt can stay. Okay, otherwise we'll meet on Saturday and complete this game. Okay, guys, we'll meet on Saturday and complete this game. Any doubt in today's class, the person can stay and I'll explain the thing. Okay, please come on Saturday. We'll be completing this game. We are only remaining with constructing the snake, constructing the food, and then just ending things. We just want to. What do you practice, Sarath? How do we practice? What do you want to practice? So you can just go from the whole class and just try to Either you can just go from your memory. Anshul, I'll explain you. Don't worry. I'll explain you. So, Sarath, either you can go take your memory and try to build it yourself, how we took a little by little, or otherwise you can follow the class, open my class, recorded class, and code along. Varun says, why did not we include n curses and other files like game.cpp? Okay, Varun. So, Varun, tell me one thing. Game.h. We included, yeah, curses. Here it is. Varun, we included. Okay, fine. Varun is asking why we are not included in game.cpp. This is the use of header files, Varun. See, what I included here, game.h. What I included here, yes, Varun, game.h. So my preprocessor will go to game.h. My preprocessor will go to game.h, pick this whole code and paste it here. So in that way, I'll be able to include all these files. Yes, this is the need of header files actually. Is this clear? Great. Yes, Anshul, I'm unmuting you and then tell me what are your doubts. Okay, Anshul? Anshul has left the class, kya? Anshul was there, yaar. And why I'm not able to see you? Interesting, yaar. Anshul, I cannot see into the list, yaar. I do not know why. I do not know why, but I cannot see you into the list of participants. Akif, Anshika, Harsha, Dinakar, Gurleen, Karthik, Kostam, Mamoon. I cannot see into the list. Sorry, Anshul. Tell me your doubts. You can try that. Just leave and come back. In the meantime, anybody else have any doubt can ask us. Can ask me. Anshul, I have unmuted you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Anshul.
सर एक्चुअली आपने जो मतलब डायरेक्शन वाला जो पार्ट था ना मैं वहीं से कंफ्यूज हूँ आपने 3-4 बार पता नहीं अप डाउन करके कुछ किया एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई एम जस्ट टोटली
तूने
कंफ्यूज.
रोका क्यों नहीं मुझे?
अरे मैंने रोकने की सोची बट आई वाज लाइक ट्राइंग टू लाइक अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट आई ट्राइंग टू डू और समथिंग सो बस इसलिए तो मैं तो पूछ ही रहा था आपसे दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज क्वाइट इनफ क्या चल
चलो
रहा
ठीक
है
है.
एंड आफ्टर दैट डबल इंट वाला जो आपने किया था ना इंट एंड
हम्म.
इंट उस वक्त भी मैं कंफ्यूज हो गया था.
ठीक है. ये वाला पार्ट समझना ना.
हाँ जी ये वाला मतलब प्रॉपर्ली आपने 2-3 जगह लाइक पुट किया था
मैं
ना.
बताता हूँ देख. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देर आर
राइट
टू
सर.
स्टेट्स ऑफ द गेम. एक तो कि जब तक मेरा गेम शुरू नहीं हुआ है और एक जब मेरा गेम शुरू हो चुका है. ठीक है,
ओके.
ये क्लियर है कि मेरे
हाँ.
पास दो ही तो स्टेट है, तीसरी स्टेट है ही नहीं. या तो मेरे को जब मेरा गेम शुरू नहीं हुआ है तब दिखाना है कि प्रेस समथिंग टू स्टार्ट. ठीक है, जब मेरा गेम शुरू हो गया तो मैं दूसरी स्टेट में चला जाऊंगा. दूसरी स्टेट कहाँ, जहाँ स्नेक और फूड है मेरे पास. ठीक है,
ओके.
तो इसलिए मैंने लिखा कि इफ माई गेम स्टेट इज बिफोर स्टार्ट, अगर मेरा गेम अभी तक शुरू ही नहीं हुआ है तो गो टू 10,10 पोजीशन और वहां पे प्रिंट कर दो प्रेस स्पेस टू स्टार्ट. ठीक है,
ओके.
अगर किसी ने स्पेस दबा दिया तो मैं चेक करूंगा इफ की इज डबल इक्वल्स टू 32. 32 इज स्काई कोड फॉर स्पेस. ठीक है, अगर मेरा की 32 होगा तो गेम को स्टार्ट कर दो. ठीक है,
ओके.
अब गेम को स्टार्ट करने के लिए क्या करना है, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि मेरी जो स्टेट थी गेम की वो अभी बिफोर स्टार्ट थी. तो मुझे सबसे पहले
ठीक है.
स्टेट चेंज करनी है. तो मैंने स्टेट चेंज कर दी, गेम स्टेट क्या कर दिया, स्टार्टेड. इस फंक्शन के अंदर जो स्टार्ट गेम फंक्शन था ना, जहां पे भी समझ में ना आए ना रोक दियो. ठीक है, गेम स्टेट को मैंने कर दिया स्टार्टेड. अब और क्या क्या चाहिए, पहले जस्ट मेरी.
गेम स्टेट कहाँ था?
हाँ,
एक सेकेंड. नीचे करना गेम स्टेट कहाँ
गेम
पे था?
स्टेट पहले मैंने देख इनिशियली इनिशियलाइज कर रखा है सबसे ऊपर। ठीक है,
हाँ
मैंने
ठीक
इसको
है।
बोल रखा है कि बाय डिफॉल्ट तो हम स्टार्ट नहीं कर रहे ना गेम। ठीक है, बाय
हाँ
डिफॉल्ट तो ये रहेगा, दिस इज बाय डिफॉल्ट।
हाँ
ठीक है।
जी, जिसकी वैल्यू
हाँ,
0 है।
जिसकी वैल्यू जीरो छोड़, बस तू ये समझ कि बिफोर स्टार्ट है, जिसकी वैल्यू के भी स्टार्ट नहीं हुई।
ओके
ठीक है, गेम
ओके ओके।
स्टेट अगर बिफोर स्टार्ट है तो स्क्रीन पे जाओ और ये प्रिंट कर दो कि भी स्टार्ट करने के लिए स्पेस प्रेस करो। उसने अगर स्पेस प्रेस कर दिया बंदे ने, तो गेम को स्टार्ट कर दो। ठीक है,
ओके।
तो गेम स्टार्ट हो गया, हम इस वाले फंक्शन के अंदर आ गए। अब जब गेम स्टार्ट होगा, बोल।
हाँ ठीक है
ठीक
ठीक
है,
है, बोलिए।
जब गेम स्टार्ट होगा तो मुझे क्या क्या चाहिए स्क्रीन पे? स्नेक चाहिए। तो
हाँ
मैंने
जी।
स्नेक को इनिशियलाइज किया, मैं इसका फंक्शन लिख दूंगा इसको अभी। ठीक है, अभी लिखा नहीं है, मैंने लिखूंगा इसको। ठीक है,
ओके
मेरे को फूड चाहिए। ठीक
ओके
है, और मेरे को क्या चाहिए कि जब मैं गेम को स्पेस बटन दबाऊं तो मेरा स्नेक किसी डायरेक्शन में मूव करता हुआ तो नजर आएगा इनिशियली। ठीक
हाँ
है, तो
जी।
मैंने क्या किया कि जो मैं ये है ना, मेरी इनिशियल डायरेक्शन है कि मेरा इनिशियली जो स्नेक है ना, वो मेरा ऊपर जा रहा है। इनिशियली जब गेम स्टार्ट होगा ना, बंदे को जब गेम दिखेगा तो स्नेक ऊपर जाता हुआ नजर आएगा। ठीक है,
ओके
क्योंकि एक डायरेक्शन तो देनी है ना मुझे गेम स्टार्ट करते ही। ठीक है,
ठीक है।
नाउ ये हो गया, मैंने गेम स्टार्ट करने के लिए ये चीजें कर दी। ठीक है भाई, हो सकता
हम्म,
कहीं से मैं स्नेक को भी इनिशियलाइज करके आ गया और कहीं से मैं फूड को भी इनिशियलाइज करके आ गया, फॉरगेट दिस नाउ। ठीक है,
ओके
अब आया, एक तो थी बिफोर स्टार्ट, दूसरी स्टेट क्या है कि गेम स्टार्ट हो चुका है। अब
ओके।
गेम स्टार्ट हो चुका है तो क्या होगा, क्या यूजर क्या कर सकता है? स्नेक को मूव करा सकता है ऊपर नीचे। तो
हम्म,
इफ माई गेम वॉज नॉट स्टार्टेड तो ये करो, बट अगर मेरा गेम स्टार्ट हो चुका है, एल्स वाली कंडीशन में आऊंगा मैं दूसरी स्टेट में। अगर
ओके
मेरा गेम
ठीक
स्टार्ट
है।
हो चुका है तो मेरे पास दो काम है करने को। या तो स्नेक को या तो स्नेक को चलाते रहो जैसे वो चल रहा है। अब जब तक तुम की नहीं दबाओगे तो स्नेक कंटिन्यूसली चलता रहेगा।
ठीक है।
आइदर कीप मूविंग स्नेक, या फिर दूसरा काम क्या है कि यूजर अप डाउन लेफ्ट राइट जो भी दबा रहा है उससे रिएक्ट करो, जो भी वो बोल रहा है, जो भी इनपुट आ रहा है उसका रिएक्शन दो। ठीक
ओके
है,
ठीक है।
तो मैंने क्या कहा, मैंने चेक किया कि अगर मेरी की ऊपर है, अगर मेरा अप वाला एरो दबाया किसी ने, तो ही वॉन्ट्स टू मूव इन टू द अप डायरेक्शन। तो मेरी
ओके।
जो भी डायरेक्शन थी पीछे स्नेक की, कुछ भी थी, लेट से मैंने एक वेरिएबल ले
हम्म।
रखा है ना डायरेक्शन, स्नेक की डायरेक्शन रिप्रेजेंट करने की।
हाँ हाँ
तो
ठीक
मैंने
है,
क्या किया,
हाँ
अगर
जी।
किसी ने अप वाली एरो दबाई तो डायरेक्शन को अप कर दो, इसको भूल जा अभी एंड वाले पार्ट को।
वो हाँ, ये वाला पार्ट भी थोड़ा
भूल
कंफ्यूज,
जा अभी
हाँ
इस पार्ट को, भूल
बोलिए।
जा। ठीक है, ये समझ में आया कि अगर किसी ने अप वाली
हाँ
दबाई तो डायरेक्शन को अप कर दो,
हाँ,
डाउन
समझ गया
वाली
मैं।
दबाई तो डाउन कर दो, राइट लेफ्ट वाली दबाई तो लेफ्ट, राइट वाली दबाई तो राइट। ठीक है,
ठीक
अब
है।
एक बात बता, कभी स्नेक गेम खेला है तो, कि अगर मेरा स्नेक ऊपर जा रहा है तो
हम्म।
अगर मैं नीचे वाली की दबा देता हूं तो क्या स्नेक नीचे आने लग जाता है? नहीं
हाँ।
आता यार।
अच्छा नहीं, हाँ, एक सेकंड, वो हाइट उसकी, हाँ ठीक है, नहीं आता
अगर
नहीं आता।
ऊपर जा रहा है स्नेक, अगर मैं नीचे वाला बटन दबा दूंगा तो उसको घूमने की जगह नहीं मिली ना। हाउ से पलट
हाँ
कैसे
ठीक
जाएगा
है।
एकदम से?
हाँ, राइट लेफ्ट,
हाँ
या
ठीक है
ओके।
ना, राइट या लेफ्ट जाएगा या ऊपर ही जाता रहेगा?
आई वाज इमेजिनिंग द हैश पार्ट, तो हैश तो नीचे जा सकता
नहीं,
है, मैं
नहीं,
इसको इसलिए
हम
थोड़ा
लॉजिकली
confused हूँ।
स्नेक को सोच। ठीक है ना?
हाँ
ठीक है,
ठीक
तो
है,
डेट
ओके।
में मुझे क्या
हाँ
चाहिए
जी।
कि कहीं कोई बंदा अगर ऊपर वाला प्रेस कर रहा है ना, तो ये चेक कर लो कहीं स्नेक नीचे तो नहीं जा रहा था। अगर स्नेक नीचे जा रहा था तो मुझे कुछ नहीं करना।
अच्छा।
समझ रहे हैं ये बात? अगर स्नेक नीचे जा रहा था और किसी ने ऊपर वाला बटन दबा दिया तो मैं कुछ नहीं करूंगा। ठीक है,
हम्म
तो मैंने क्या किया, चेक किया कि बंदे ने दबाया अप। ठीक है, बट चेक करो कि नीचे तो नहीं जा रहा था, डायरेक्शन डाउन तो नहीं थी। अगर
हम्म।
डायरेक्शन लेफ्ट जा रहा था या राइट जा रहा था तो मैं डायरेक्शन उसकी अपनी कन्वर्ट कर दूंगा। लेकिन
ओके
अगर नीचे जा रहा था ना और अप दबाया उसने तो मैं उसका कोई रिएक्शन नहीं दूंगा।
ठीक है, मैं समझ
ये वाला
गया
पार्ट
मैं।
पूरा समझ में आ गया?
हाँ
ठीक
समझ
है,
गया
अब
मैं।
मैंने डायरेक्शन तो चेंज कर दी, अभी एक्चुअली में चेंज नहीं हुई है, अभी मेरे कंप्यूटर में चेंज हो गई, बट मेरे एक्चुअली स्क्रीन पे चेंज नहीं हुई है ना डायरेक्शन। ठीक है ना,
हम्म।
स्क्रीन पे चेंज करने के लिए मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? स्क्रीन पे ड्रॉ करना पड़ेगा स्नेक को। तो मैंने उसके
हाँ।
लिए एक फंक्शन लिखा, पेंट स्नेक। पेंट स्नेक मतलब स्क्रीन पे पेंट कर दो स्क्रीन को, जो भी स्नेक की करंट कंडीशन है। और करंट कंडीशन कैसे पता लग रही है? डायरेक्शन से और कोऑर्डिनेट से। हमें
अच्छा।
हमेशा पता है क्या चाहिए होता है, हमें ये चाहिए होता है कि हम कैसे दिखाएंगे किसी चीज को। स्क्रीन पे दिखाना इज वन थिंग, स्टोर कैसे करेंगे? स्नेक का मतलब क्या है? स्नेक को मैं कोऑर्डिनेट से ही तो बताऊंगा ना।
ओके।
कोऑर्डिनेट से ही तो रिप्रेजेंटेशन हुई ना स्नेक की, और कोई रिप्रेजेंटेशन?
हाँ ठीक है समझ
और
गया।
डायरेक्शन मुझे ये बताएगी लेफ्ट जाओ।
तो ये पूरा पार्ट एक लूप में
हम्म।
होगा? ये पूरा पार्ट एक लूप में
लूप
होगा?
कौन सा पूरा पार्ट?
ये जो इफ एल्स वाला जो था, ये पूरा पार्ट लूप में होगा क्योंकि आपने एक बार प्रेस कर दिया, देन आपको
तो
दोबारा से
वो
करना
लूप मैं
पड़ेगा ना?
ऑलरेडी बना चुका हूँ। कहाँ बना चुका हूँ? इनफाइनाइट लूप बनाई थी यहाँ पे।
हाँ वो- हाँ, अच्छा, इसके अंदर है ना ये
हाँ,
ऑलरेडी?
वाइल जो
ठीक है।
इनफाइनाइट लूप थी उसके अंदर मेरा गेम लॉजिक फंक्शन है। और
हाँ
गेम
ठीक है
लॉजिक
ठीक है।
यहाँ पे है
ओके।
जो ये वाला फंक्शन है पूरा।
हाँ
ठीक है।
ठीक है।
ठीक है, तो मैंने
हाँ
पेंट कर दिया स्नेक को। ठीक है, अब
ठीक
मैंने
है।
चेक किया यार, मैंने डायरेक्शन ही तो चेंज करी है बस। मैंने उसकी कोऑर्डिनेट तो चेंज किए ही नहीं।
अच्छा, हाँ सही
है
है
ना,
फिर।
डायरेक्शन ही तो चेंज की मैंने, कोऑर्डिनेट तो चेंज करी नहीं, तो मूवमेंट कहाँ से दिखेगी मेरे को? तो फिर मैंने
हम्म।
एक फंक्शन बनाया, मूव स्नेक। मूव
ओके।
स्नेक। अब मूव करने के लिए तुम्हें ये तो पता होना चाहिए ना कि अगर मेरे को कोऑर्डिनेट चेंज करने हैं तो लेफ्ट वाला करना है, राइट वाला करना है, अप वाला करना है, डाउन वाला करना है। तो
अच्छा,
मैंने उसके लिए फिर क्या किया?
आपने मूव स्नेक में आई प्लस प्लस वगैरह जो
हाँ
किया था उसमें मूव स्नेक
हाँ,
में कर दिया आपने? ठीक है, मैं
अब मेरे
समझ
को फिर
गया।
डायरेक्शन तो पास करनी पड़ेगी ना उसके लिए। मैंने मूव
हाँ ठीक
स्नेक
है।
क्यों लिखा? क्योंकि जो मूवमेंट है वो स्नेक की मूवमेंट है, वो स्नेक से रिलेटेड है। तो मैं इसमें
ओके।
नहीं लिखूंगा, मैं यहाँ पे सिर्फ गेम लॉजिक लिख रहा हूँ। जो स्नेक से रिलेटेड चीजें हैं वो मैं
ओके।
स्नेक डॉट सीपीपी में लिख रहा हूँ। अब मैं
ठीक
मूव
है।
स्नेक पे आया, मूव स्नेक पे मेरे पास डायरेक्शन आ गई। अगर मेरे को ऊपर
हम्म।
जाना है तो मेरे को रो कम करनी है, एक्स को कम करना है।
हम्म।
अगर मेरे को
हम्म।
नीचे जाना है तो एक्स को बढ़ाना है। अगर मेरे को
हम्म।
लेफ्ट में जाना है तो मेरे को वाई जो मेरा कॉलम वाला कोऑर्डिनेट है उसको कम करना है। अगर मेरे को
हम्म।
राइट में जाना है तो वाई वाला कोऑर्डिनेट बढ़ाना है।
ठीक है, आई
ये
अंडरस्टैंड
फंक्शन
दिस।
समझ में आया? ठीक है,
हाँ।
अब आ जाते हैं। अब पॉइंट क्या था? अब पॉइंट ये था कि अनटिल नाउ ना, मैं सिर्फ एक्स और वाई सिर्फ एक कोऑर्डिनेट से स्नेक को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा था। ठीक है।
ओके।
बट स्नेक तो ग्रो भी कर सकता है, स्नेक की लेंथ बड़ी भी हो सकती है। राइट,
हम्म।
अंडरस्टूड दिस? तो स्नेक
या
क्या होगा? मेरा सेट ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट्स ही तो होगा। अभी
या
तक स्नेक एक कोऑर्डिनेट था, अब मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ, सेट ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट्स होगा ना मेरा। स्नेक अगर बड़ा होगा तो सेट ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट्स होगा। ठीक
ठीक
है,
है।
तो मुझे क्या चाहिए था, किसी ने मुझे बताया कि सर फिर एरे ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट्स यूज कर लो आप। एक एरे बनाओ जिसके अंदर
हम्म।
आपके कोऑर्डिनेट्स पड़े हैं। तो मैंने,
और एरे में हो
ठीक
भी
है, तो
जाएगा।
मैंने कहा यार लेकिन एरे तो फिक्स साइज का होता है, स्नेक का साइज तो कितना भी बड़ा हो सकता है, ग्रो कर रहा है। मुझे साइज ही नहीं पता स्नेक का कि कितना होगा एट द एंड। तो मैं
ठीक
एरे
है।
यूज कर ही नहीं सकता, एरे फिक्स साइज का है। ठीक है,
हम्म।
तो फिर मैंने कहा कि चलो ठीक है, वेक्टर यूज कर लेते हैं। क्योंकि वेक्टर इज नॉट अ फिक्स
ओके।
साइज। अगर वेक्टर नहीं पता तो यू हैव टू टेक अप द वन डी एरे क्लास फर्स्ट। ओके।
ओके।
सो वेक्टर डायनेमिक होता है। इफ यू डू नॉट नो अबाउट वेक्टर, गो एंड वॉच द वन डी एरे क्लास, टू डी एरे क्लास। ठीक है,
ओके।
तो वेक्टर इज डायनेमिक थिंग। वेक्टर में हमें साइज नहीं देना पड़ता एंड वी कैन कॉन्टिन्यूअसली पुश द एलिमेंट्स इनटू इट। ठीक है,
ओके।
तो अब वेक्टर में पुश, अच्छा पहले बता, वेक्टर पता है?
नहीं
नहीं
पता।
पता ना, तो आई एम स्टॉपिंग हियर,
हाँ।
गो एंड वॉच द वन डी एरे क्लास। अगर वेक्टर नहीं पता ना तो ये सब चीजें मेरी सेंस करेंगी ही नहीं। ये
अच्छा।
सब चीजें सेंस ही नहीं बनाएंगी, तेरे को समझ में नहीं आएगा वेक्टर क्या चीज है, तू वहीं पे कंफ्यूज रह जाएगा कि यार वेक्टर क्या है।
नहीं, मैंने वेक्टर पता है, मतलब थोड़ा पढ़ा हुआ है, ऐसी बात नहीं है, इसलिए थोड़ा बहुत
चल
समझ
ठीक है,
गया
मैं
था मैं चीज।
कोशिश करता हूँ, नहीं तो वन डी एरे की क्लास होगी। ठीक है, तो
ओके।
वेक्टर में हम डायनेमिक कहते हैं और पुश करते जाते हैं एलिमेंट्स को। ठीक है, अब
हम्म।
मैंने कहा कि यार मुझे किसका वेक्टर, वेक्टर में डेटा क्या चाहिए? वेक्टर में कोऑर्डिनेट्स चाहिए। ठीक है,
हाँ।
तो एक टू डी वेक्टर करके चीज होती है। तो या तो हम टू डी वेक्टर यूज कर सकते हैं, तो टू डी क्लास देख ली, टू डी एरे की क्लास, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड कि टू डी वेक्टर क्या होता है। ठीक है, तो फॉरगेट
ओके।
इट कि हम टू डी वेक्टर हम यूज नहीं कर रहे। अब मुझे कोऑर्डिनेट्स चाहिए। कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या होते हैं? एक्स एंड वाई। ठीक है, तो
या।
दो ही चीजें तो है, एक्स एंड वाई, दो इंटीजर ही तो है। ठीक है, तो
हम्म।
सी प्लस प्लस ना मुझे एक चीज प्रोवाइड कराता है, पेयर। सी प्लस प्लस मुझे एक चीज प्रोवाइड कराता है, दिस पेयर।
ओके।
पेयर क्या है? पेयर बस दो इंटीजर्स का कॉम्बिनेशन है, मतलब दो इंटीजर्स को एक पेयर में रिप्रेजेंट कर दिया तुमने।
यार मैं
ठीक है,
ओके।
और पेयर रिप्रेजेंट कैसे होता है? ऐसे, करली ब्रेसेस, वन
ठीक
कोमा टू। ठीक है, ये मेरा
है।
एक वेक्टर था। इफ यू हैवंट वॉच द
हम्म।
एरेज क्लास, लेट मी गिव यू एन एनालॉजी। कि तेरे पास शटल्स हैं, शटल बॉक्सेस हैं। ठीक है, तेरे
हम्म।
पास एक शटल बॉक्स है, उसके अंदर मल्टीपल शटल्स हैं। ठीक है, तो
ओके।
जो तेरा शटल बॉक्स है ना वो तो तेरा है वेक्टर, और जो उसके
हाँ।
अंदर शटल्स पड़ी हुई है ना वो है तेरे पेयर। समझ में
ओके।
आया? ठीक है,
ठीक है।
अब तेरा शटल बॉक्स ऐसा है कि वो उसका साइज फिक्स नहीं है, जितनी तू शटल डालता जाएगा ना डलती जाएंगी उसके अंदर।
जल्दी जाएगी,
ठीक है,
सही है तो।
तो दिस इज अ शटल। अब तुझे पहली शटल निकालनी है, तो तू क्या करेगा, शटल बॉक्स ऑफ जीरो, जीरो
ओके।
वन टू ऐसे नंबर है शटल के, तो शटल बॉक्स ऑफ जीरो।
हाँ जी।
तो बॉडी ऑफ जीरो क्या देगा तुझे, कि पहली शटल विच इज पहला पेयर। ठीक है,
ओके।
अब तुझे ये पेयर तो मिल गया पूरा, लेकिन तुझे पहला एलिमेंट एक्सेस
हम्म।
करना है उसका, तो व्हाट यू कैन डू, बॉडी ऑफ जीरो डॉट फर्स्ट। और
ओके।
तुझे सेकंड एलिमेंट यूज करना है, तो बॉडी ऑफ जीरो डॉट सेकंड।
नॉट
ठीक है,
सेकेंड,
अब
ओके।
ये थी दूसरी शटल। दूसरी शटल को कैसे एक्सेस करेगा, जो इंडेक्स होते हैं वो जीरो वन टू लेके एन माइनस वन तक जाता है इंडेक्स तेरा। ठीक है,
हम्म।
तो दूसरी शटल कैसे एक्सेस करेगा, बॉडी ऑफ वन। और ये वाला एलिमेंट
हाँ।
एक्सेस करना है, एक्स कोऑर्डिनेट एक्सेस करना है तो डॉट फर्स्ट, वाई कोऑर्डिनेट एक्सेस करना है तो डॉट सेकंड।
ठीक
ठीक
है।
है, तो समझ में आ गया कि मैंने ये क्यों चूज किया, क्योंकि कोऑर्डिनेट्स वो करने थे, जो कोऑर्डिनेट स्टोर करने थे।
ठीक है।
क्लियर?
ठीक है।
अब
हाँ।
मेरे को बनाना है अपना
हाँ जी।
इनिशियलाइजेशन फंक्शन, जिसमें मेरा स्नेक, जो स्टार्टिंग में स्नेक होगा ना वो तैयार हो जाए। ठीक है,
हम्म।
तो हो सकता है बंदा रेगुलरली गेम खेल रहा है, मर गया बंदा, दोबारा स्टार्ट हो गया, तो मेरा कोड तो दोबारा नहीं चला ना। कोड दोबारा, कोड चल ही रहा है, कॉन्टिन्यूअसली चल ही रहा है कोड।
बॉडी क्लियर
हम
कर
अपनी
दिया
बॉडी
आपने।
खाली कर दी कि भाई दोबारा से स्नेक को बनाना है मेरे को। और फिर
ओके।
बॉडी के अंदर ना तीन पेयर पुश कर दिए, तीन कोऑर्डिनेट्स पुश कर दिए, 10,10, 10,11, 10,12, तो एक हॉरिजॉन्टल काइंड ऑफ स्नेक बन जाएगा तेरा। ठीक है,
ठीक है।
वो समझ में आया था जब मैंने लिखा था 12,13 है।
हाँ।
ठीक
हाँ
है, तो
जी। हाँ जी।
पुशबैक फंक्शन यूज होता है वेक्टर के अंदर डेटा डालने के लिए। तो मेरा
ठीक है।
स्नेक बन गया इनिशियली, मेरा स्नेक इनिशियली जो होगा वो ऐसा होगा। ये ऐसा स्नेक बन जाएगा मेरा। ठीक है, अब मेरे
हम्म।
को ये स्नेक मेरे कोड के अंदर है, मेरे पास डेटा है, लेकिन वो प्रिंट नहीं हुआ है स्क्रीन पे, मुझे प्रिंट भी
हम्म।
करना है। अब अगर मेरे पास
हाँ।
10 है तो 10 बार तो मैं लिखूंगा नहीं, सी आउट बॉडी ऑफ जीरो, सी आउट बॉडी ऑफ वन, सी आउट बॉडी ऑफ टू। तो मैं क्या करूंगा, एक लूप
ठीक
का
है।
यूज करूंगा। तो मैंने एक
हाँ।
लूप चलाई, जीरो से लेके उसके साइज तक, जो वेक्टर का साइज है। और मैंने क्या
हम्म।
किया, उस पर्टिकुलर कोऑर्डिनेट पे गया, लोकेशन डॉट फर्स्ट, लोकेशन डॉट सेकंड, लोकेशन में मैंने क्या स्टोर करा रखा है, पेयर। ठीक है,
ओके।
अभी समझ में आ रहा है, कहीं भी रोक दियो अब।
हाँ, अब समझ
ठीक है,
आया। हाँ।
और वहां जाके मैंने क्या कर दिया, मेरे को रिप्रेजेंट करना है, हैश से रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा था, तो वहां जाके मैंने हैश प्रिंट कर दिया उस पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन पे जाके।
ओके।
तो मेरा स्नेक
हाँ।
प्रिंट हो जाएगा। ठीक है,
हाँ।
यहाँ पे मैंने क्लास खत्म कर दी थी और बोला था अब तुम्हें क्या करना है, कल के लिए तुम्हें ये फंक्शन, अब देख एक्स और वाई तो बचे नहीं है ना, अब एक कोऑर्डिनेट तो था नहीं, मल्टीपल
हम्म।
कोऑर्डिनेट्स हैं। तो अब
हम्म।
यू हैव टू चेंज दिस फंक्शन समाउ, कि तुम स्नेक को मूव करा पाओ।
अच्छा, वो तीनों पार्ट एक साथ चले।
हाँ एग्जैक्टली exactly, कि अगर मेरा स्नेक लेट से हैश हैश हैश,
तो आप दो वेरिएबल्स ले लो एंड देन दोनों को प्लस प्लस करके, आई प्लस प्लस करके दोनों को मूव कराते रहो हर बार। ऐसा नहीं हो सकता?
ये मैंने सोचने के लिए बोला, कल जब स्टार्ट करूंगा ना क्लास, देन आई आस्क यू, सोचियो ध्यान से सोचियो। चल ठीक है, एक बार बता, ये वाला स्नेक कैसे मूव कराएगा। एक स्नेक बनाता हूँ। ये वाला स्नेक दिख रहा है,
हाँ,
इसको
दिख रहा
कैसे
है।
मूव कराएगा, किसको प्लस करेगा, कहाँ
ओके।
माइनस करेगा, तुझे क्या पता। इस वाला कोऑर्डिनेट को राइट जाना है, तुझे क्या पता इस वाले पार्ट को ऊपर की तरफ जाना है, तुझे क्या पता। मैं हर पार्ट के लिए थोड़ा ना इन्फॉर्मेशन स्टोर करा रहा हूँ, मेरे को तो बस पता है कि स्नेक जो है इस वाली डायरेक्शन में चल रहा है, स्नेक इस वाली डायरेक्शन में चल रहा है। अब
अरे तो इसमें ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, इसको एक वेरिएबल स्टोर करा देंगे एंड देन उसको पुट लाइक दिस, जैसे हमने मिनिमम मैक्सिमम वाला किया था ना एक
इसको
टाइम
स्टोर
पे।
कराएंगे, क्या स्टोर
तो
कराएंगे वेरिएबल में, ये तो बता। पूरा स्नेक तो स्टोर करा नहीं सकते, स्नेक इस अलग अलग
नहीं, एक वैल्यू को, एक वैल्यू को, एक
वाली
वैल्यू
वैल्यू,
को, एक वैल्यू को स्टोर
इसमें
करके पहले में डाल
अच्छा, और
दिया।
फिर क्या किया?
हाँ। और पीछे वाले में डाल दिया, वो उस पोजीशन में आ जाएगा, ये वाली इस पोजीशन में आ जाएगा, लाइक दिस। थोड़ा ऐसे नहीं कर सकते? या फिर फर्स्ट वाला
अच्छा हाँ
जो
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
आगे
बस बस
वाला है
बस 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 बस, थिंक अबाउट,
अच्छा समझ
यू आर
लो।
गोइंग, अरे
अच्छा समझ लो।
ठीक है भाई, यू आर गोइंग ऑन द राइट ट्रैक। थिंक अबाउट इट, कल करेंगे ये, खुद ट्राई।
एक एक लास्ट, ठीक है। जो जो फर्स्ट वाला जो सबसे ऊपर है उसको एक इंक्रीज कर दिया, और जो लास्ट वाला उसको डिक्रीज कर
पता नहीं
दिया।
भाई, मुझे नहीं पता।
अच्छा,
10
ठीक है।
बच्चे हो रहे हैं, मैं क्यों नहीं हिंट दूं। तुझे
अच्छा
समझ में आ
ठीक है।
गया ना, अगर
तो
तुझे समझ में आ गया था ना, तो गो एंड एग्जीक्यूट दिस थिंग।
हाँ,
ट्राई कर इसको एग्जीक्यूट करने में, गिटहब पे अभी
ये बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है।
क्या
दिस वन स्नेक
क्या।
वाला, ये स्नेक वाला जो पूरा है ये गेम, ये कुछ ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है।
सो कब तक कॉम्प्लिकेटेड थिंग से भागेंगे हम?
वो तो है, लेकिन
और पता है
चलो
क्यों
लेट्स
कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लग
ट्राई।
रहा है? पता है क्यों कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लग रहा है? रुक जा, 10
हाँ,
बच्चे हैं, अभी 10 बच्चे हैं, पूछते हैं। गाइस, who all of you are feeling that this game is actually extremely complicated and you should not have done this right now? Yes, guys. Tell me genuine answer. Akif says, okay, I. Okay, more people. Genuine answers, guys. 10 people are there. Tell me, guys. Who all think this game is actually highly complicated? Yes, Kaustav, Maheen, Mamook, Rahul. Come on, tell me. Okay, so you guys are saying we should not have done this snake game right now. है ना? तो यार,
नहीं ऐसा
नहीं, अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग यार, अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग कि इसके अंदर ना, अदर देन लूप्स, अदर देन एरेज, आई एम नॉट यूजिंग एनीथिंग एल्स। जो है वो एक्स्ट्रा लाइब्रेरी यूज कर रहे हैं हम उनके अंदर, बस हमें फंक्शन पता है उनके। ठीक है ना? व्हाई वी आर बिल्डिंग दिस गेम ना, व्हाई वी आर बिल्डिंग दिस गेम, सो दैट यू कैन रियलाइज। आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि तुम्हें ये आना चाहिए, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि तू ये खुद दोबारा बना सके। आई एम नॉट
फॉर अ
I'm not saying this Anshul. I'm just saying कि you should know how you are actually building a game. मैंने तुझे क्या बोला? मैंने तुझे सब कुछ समझा दिया। बैठ आराम से, कल बैठ के आराम से पढ़ इस चीज को, समझ धीरे धीरे कि हाउ स्टेप बाय स्टेप आई वेंट। ठीक है, एंड आफ्टर दैट आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग यू गाइस टू इम्प्लीमेंट दिस पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन। मैं तुम्हें नहीं कह रहा कि पूरा कोड खुद घर जाके लिखो, मैं लिंक दूंगा, कोड उठाओ, कोड को समझो अच्छे से कि कोड कर क्या रहा है, एंड जस्ट इम्प्लीमेंट दिस फंक्शन नाउ।
सो इट्स लाइक दिस ना, आप 100 की प्रैक्टिस करोगे तब जाके 75 आएगा, समथिंग 80, तो कुछ तो आएगा आपको इससे करने के बाद
हाँ
प्रैक्टिस।
एग्जैक्टली, एंड इट्स कम्प्लीटली फाइन यार कि अगर ये नहीं आ रहा है ना समझ में, इट्स कम्प्लीटली फाइन। बट अगर हम ये सोचेंगे ना कि तुम्हें कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा, तुम नहीं स्टार्ट कर सकते, तो फिर वो कभी तुम कर ही नहीं पाओगे। अंटिल यू डू नॉट पिक इट अप ना, यू कैन नॉट डू इट। ठीक है, आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू गाइस कि क्रैम दिस होल कोड, नो गाइस, नो, आई डू नॉट वांट यू गाइस टू। बस ये समझो कि हाउ वी आर बिल्डिंग द प्रोजेक्ट। मैं सिक्वेंशियली लेके जा रहा हूँ। मुझे खुद ये प्रोजेक्ट समझने में ना यार 5 से 6 दिन लगे थे पूरा प्रोजेक्ट बनाने के अंदर। ठीक है, और अभी भी काफी सारी चीजें जो मैं तुम्हें उस लेवल पे नहीं समझा सकता जिस लेवल पे मैं सिर्फ ये बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि सी हाउ प्रोजेक्ट इज बीइंग डेवलप्ड। और धीरे धीरे, पता है कैसे कैसे कर सकते हैं तू अंशुल की? देख, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो मेरे को इश्यूज लगता है ना, मैं तुम लोगों से फ्रैंकली बात करता हूँ, इशू जो मुझे लगता है, फर्स्ट थिंग, यू आर इन द कॉलेज, आई एम एब्सोल्युटली, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है उसमें। तुम सेकेंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर में हो यार, अगर तुम अभी फाइट नहीं करोगे ना, तो जब फोर्थ ईयर में जाओगे ना, यू विल सी पीपल हु आर एक्चुअली वेरी वेरी गुड, जिन्होंने फाइट किया था। ठीक है, हु द पीपल हु आर इन उबर, द पीपल हु आर इन Amazon, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, दे आर नॉट देयर बिकॉज कि उन्होंने एक टाइम पे ये बोला कि सर ये टफ नहीं है। नो, अगर टफ है तो ठीक है, टफ ही तो चीज करनी है ना यार, टफ ही तो चीज समझनी है। ये क्यों नहीं समझ में आ रहा, यही तो सोचना है ना कि यार ये मुझे ये क्यों नहीं समझ में आ रहा। अच्छा, मुझे ये इसलिए समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि मुझे एरेज नहीं आते, एरेज नहीं आते, एरेज पढ़ता हूँ। अच्छा, एरेज में मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा, एरे ऑफ इंटीजर्स, इंटीजर्स क्या है? अच्छा, इंटीजर्स पढ़ता हूँ, इंटीजर्स क्या है? समझ रहा है? एंड
हम्म।
वन थिंग इज कि अगर तुम ये सोचते रहोगे ना यार कि कॉलेज 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 इज नॉट गोइंग टू गिव यू एनीथिंग until you until you are in IITs ना। ठीक है, कॉलेज इज नॉट गोइंग टू गिव यू एनीथिंग। आईआईटी में हो तो क्या देगा? बहुत अच्छी प्लेसमेंट, तुम जाके आराम से बैठो, प्लेसमेंट मिल जाएगी। अगर आईआईटी में नहीं हो ना, तो you really have to work very 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 hard to get a placement, and even if you want to go and study afterward ना, तो पता है क्या होगा? वहां तेरे प्रोजेक्ट्स लेके जाएंगे व्हाट यू हैव डेवलप्ड। और अगर हम एक भी, हमने कैलकुलेटर प्रोजेक्ट किया था, कैलकुलेटर वाला प्रोजेक्ट की क्लास अटेंड करी थी?
मैंने नहीं, अब मैंने अभी स्टार्टेड किया क्लास, मतलब मैंने लूप्स वगैरह सब एंड कर
हम्म।
दिया। एंड अभी उसके ऊपर मतलब मुझे आता है सब कुछ, बिकॉज आई हैव डन पाइथन एंड ऑल, सो इसलिए मुझे थोड़ा बहुत पता है चीजों के
तो
बारे में।
फिर पता है ये क्यों डिफिकल्ट लग रहा है? क्योंकि मैं 2 आवर्स की क्लास में ना एक्सप्लेन करता जा रहा हूँ धीरे धीरे चीजें। ठीक है,
हम्म
तुम्हें अब यार देख, अब कई लोग कहते हैं कि हम क्यों रिविजिट करें एक और वीडियो को, जो लेक्चर ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, व्हाई शुड वी रिविजिट दैट लेक्चर? So the reason is you
हम्म
cannot understand each and everything in the 2 hours class. You have to go again to that particular class and understand things. फिर तुम रोक रोक के धीरे धीरे 0.5x की स्पीड से धीरे धीरे अंडरस्टैंड करोगे, फ्लो चार्ट बनाओगे कि यार पहले सर ने ये किया तो क्यों किया। उसके बाद जब मेरे को ये पर्टिकुलर चीज समझ में आ गई ना, फिर मैं आगे मूव करूंगा कि अच्छा मेरे को यहाँ तक कंप्लीटली समझ में आ गया, अब मैं आगे मूव करता हूँ। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि 2 घंटे यहाँ बैठे हो तो तुम्हें सब कुछ समझ में आ जाना चाहिए इस प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर। नो, आई कैन नॉट एक्सपेक्ट यू। मुझे नहीं आया था भाई समझ में। मुझे नहीं, जब मुझे बोला गया कि ये
हम्म
प्रोजेक्ट क्रिएट करना है, आई हैव टू वर्क हार्ड टू क्रिएट दिस प्रोजेक्ट। ऐसे नहीं क्रिएट हो गया था। और मेरे को 6 साल हो गए C++ में कोड करते हुए। ठीक है। तो इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि इट्स क्वाइट नॉर्मल इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड। लेकिन अंशुल भागना नहीं है। यू हैव टू वॉच दिस वीडियो अगेन एंड अगेन, इवन इफ यू हैव टू वॉच इट 100 टाइम्स। और तुझे समझना है और तुझे खुद ये प्रोजेक्ट दोबारा डेवलप करना है। जिस दिन ये तूने प्रोजेक्ट दोबारा खुद से डेवलप कर लिया और एक एक चीज समझ ली ना, लूप्स, डेटा टाइप्स, इफ एंड एल्सिस, एरेज, सब कुछ क्लियर हो जाएगा ये सब।
आई विल मैं तो सोच ही रहा था आज से स्टार्ट करना है
हाँ।
ये चीज
और
करना। आई विल डू।
गाइस, रिमूव द एक्सक्यूज ऑफ कॉलेज फ्रॉम योर लाइफ प्लीज। ये मिस्टेक मत करो सर, कॉलेज भी है मेरा 9 to 5 और फिर मैं क्लास भी मैनेज करूं। तुम्हारी क्लास 2 घंटे हो रही है, तुम मतलब अपने आप को ना वो मानो कि हाँ, द पीपल हु आर एक्सपीरियंस ना, जो अकेडमी का बैच चल रहा है, इफ आई वांट टू, इफ यू नीड टू हियर दैट थिंग, जो अकेडमी का बैच है, जो एक्सपीरियंस बच्चे हैं, जो हु आर नॉट इन दैट मच गुड कंपनी, वो पूरे दिन काम करते हैं, पूरे दिन ऑफिस का काम करते हैं और रात को बैठ के 3 साढ़े 3 घंटे की क्लास करते हैं। तो अगर तुम्हें वो हालत नहीं चाहिए ना कि तुम्हें 3 साल बाद फिर दोबारा से एकेडमी में ज्वाइन करना पड़े, या फिर तुम एकेडमी में ज्वाइन फिर भी कर सकते हो अच्छी चीजें सीखने के लिए, बट लेकिन वो लोग क्यों कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि आज वो ऐसी कंपनी में है, उन्होंने सेकंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर में मेहनत नहीं की, वो आज ऐसी कंपनी में दे वांट टू मूव फॉरवर्ड। तो वो पूरा दिन 8-10 घंटे काम भी करते हैं, रात को 3 घंटे की क्लास अटेंड भी करते हैं। समझ रहे हैं अंशुल? और
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
हम इंस्ट्रक्टर्स भी सेम एफर्ट लगा रहे हैं पूरा दिन। आई एम ए सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर है, तो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर का काम करके फिर रात को शाम को आके तुम्हें पढ़ाना, तो इट्स नॉट लाइक कि यार 2 घंटे, इट्स ओके। अगर ठीक है, मैं ये मानता हूँ कि सर कंसंट्रेशन नहीं बन पा रही है, इट्स फाइन, इट्स एब्सोल्युटली फाइन। तो इसका इसका सोल्यूशन क्या है कि मैं 1.5 घंटे की क्लास लूँ, फिर तुम्हें 15 मिनट्स का ब्रेक दूँ, ठीक है, फिर मैं 1 घंटे की क्लास और ले लूँ। इसका ये सोल्यूशन है कि अगर लोग कह रहे हैं कि
हम्म
सर कॉन्टिन्यूअस कंसंट्रेशन नहीं बन रहा है, तो ठीक है, 8 to 9:30 वी डू अ क्लास, 15 मिनट्स ब्रेक, 9:45 इज अगेन स्टार्ट टिल 10:30। तो क्लास हो गई 2 और 15 मिनट्स, 2 और 30 मिनट्स की अप्रोक्सीमेट। और अगर हम
हम्म
1-1.5 घंटे की क्लास करेंगे ना, तो वो सिलेबस फिर 1 साल 1.5 साल में भी कवर नहीं हो पाएगा अच्छे से। So you have to
हम्म
toughen up, guys. For every 10 people who stayed to this late, you have to toughen up. थोड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग बनो और थोड़ा ये सोचो कि हाँ, व्हाट वी आर डूइंग ना, वो 4th ईयर के लिए कर रहे हैं, वो एट द एंड ऑफ दिस कॉलेज के लिए कर रहे हैं कि कम से कम कॉलेज को गाली तो देंगे, बट किसी और को गाली ना देना कि हमने कुछ किया ही नहीं। अंडरस्टूड?
हम्म
तो हाँ, ये प्रोजेक्ट थोड़ा हाई लेवल है, बट फाइट इट। जब तक इफ यू विल नॉट डू द हार्ड थिंग्स, यू विल नॉट लर्न। दैट्स द एंड ऑफ दिस।
हम्म। नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। दिस नाइस। अच्छा
अब
प्रोजेक्ट है ये।
नाइस, हाँ ठीक है। मैं ये बात तो भाई।
नहीं, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस प्रोजेक्ट ना मेरे दिमाग में और 10 प्रोजेक्ट आ रहे हैं। लाइक आई वांट टू डेवलप समथिंग एंड XYZ। मैंने पूरा दिन सोचा क्या क्या बनाना
तो
है
वही ना,
आफ्टर
थैंक
दिस।
यू, तूने ही मुझे बोला था कि सर ये प्रोजेक्ट थोड़ा एडवांस नहीं है, थैंक यू। मैं थोड़ा,
नहीं, एडवांस मैंने रियल बोला था। इट्स रियलिटी है।
हाँ एडवांस्ड है ठीक है, लेकिन
हाँ, लेकिन मैंने ये नहीं बोला कि ये मतलब दिमाग से ऊपर से जा रहा है समथिंग। मैंने ये नहीं बोला आपको। मैंने कहा एडवांस है। हाँ, इट्स
चलो
एडवांस।
ठीक है, एडवांस है तो करो इसे, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड ईच एंड एवरीथिंग। कोई बात नहीं, 15 मिनट का लेक्चर मिल गया एंड इट इज नीडेड। ठीक है।
हाँ, डिमोटिवेट कर दिया।
वो पता नहीं मैंने किया नहीं किया, बट लेट्स जस्ट क्विट द क्लास एंड सी यू
हाँ।
सून। ठीक है, सैटरडे को मिलते हैं। देन सैटरडे तक ट्राई करो कि अंडरस्टैंड कि मैंने अभी तक क्या किया, ताकि सैटरडे को जब फिनिश करूँ ना, तो तुम अपने पिछले क्लासेस के डाउट मुझसे पूछ सको। ठीक है। और जब ये
ओके।
गेम पूरा क्रिएट हो जाएगा ना, फिर खुद बैठ के सोचो स्टेप बाय स्टेप कि सर ने क्या किया था, अपनी मेमोरी से याद करनी। जितना याद आ रहा है उतना अच्छा है। जब सीधा वीडियो देखने चला जाएगा ना, एक और सजेशन दे देता हूँ गाइस, कि सीधा वीडियो देखने मत जाओ। पहले ना याद करो खुद से कि मैंने क्या क्या पढ़ाया था और किस वे में पढ़ाया था। जितना तुम्हें याद आ रहा है, अगर तू उसे राइट डाउन कर लेगा ना कॉपी में, तो फिक्स हो जाएगा। फिर वीडियो देख कि अच्छा मैंने क्या क्या मिस कर दिया। ठीक है, तो
हम्म।
यू कैन ट्राई स्टडी दिस वे। तो अगर मेहनत करोगे, इफ यू आर विद मी, इफ यू आर रेडी टू इन्वेस्ट योर टाइम, योर नेक्स्ट 6 to 7 to 8 months विद मी, यार अगस्त के बाद आई आई विल डेफिनेटली ट्राई कि जितने 20 25 30 बच्चे मेरे साथ मेहनत कर रहे हैं ना, वो एटलीस्ट ये ना कहें कि सर मजा नहीं आया। यू एक्चुअली लर्न मेनी थिंग्स इन नेक्स्ट 6 months, ओके, बट यू हैव टू पुट सम एफर्ट। एवरीथिंग कैन नॉट कम फ्रॉम माई साइड, यू हैव टू डू एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट फ्रॉम योर साइड। अब जाओ सो जाओ, हो गया लेक्चर ओवर, विल मीट यू ऑन सैटरडे। ठीक है,
ओके सर।
ओके, गुड नाइट। गुड नाइट गाइस, बाय। अच्छा, आई अपडेट द कोड, जो कल लिंक थी ना उसी पे जाके कोड एक्सेस कर लेना, ठीक है। और मैं दोबारा कोड लिंक पेस्ट कर दूंगा स्केलर चैट में। ग्रेट, बाय।